It's the Weekly Wicked Webshow with TeamMUJ. Family united, not divided, let me hear you say. It's the Weekly Wicked Webshow with TeamMUJ. Family united, not divided, let me hear you say. It's the Weekly Wicked Webshow. It's the Weekly Wicked Webshow.
Yo, what the fuck is up, everybody?
TeamMUJ in the motherfucking house for a brand new episode of the Weekly Wicked Web Show. Shout out to everybody in the chat already. Gonna be a dope show tonight, you know what I'm saying? It's been like 2 weeks, since we were on for the last one. Tonight we got Humble Among that's gonna be joining us, so that's gonna be fresh as we chop it up all kinds of shit.
Humble Among TeamMUJ, if you would.
Hell yeah, Humble Among TeamMUJ. Hell yeah. Shout out everybody chilling tonight. We got a lot to talk about. Like I said, it's been like 2 weeks, I think, since the last show. Yeah, because we just weren't on last week. Yeah, we just weren't on last week. Last episode, we ended the episode showing some ghost footage type shit. Yeah, and we ended up editing the footage and putting it on the YouTube, and we'll play that whole footage again tonight. I think it helps you see everything that we were talking about a little bit clearer, a little bit better. So we're gonna run
break
that
it
shit
down even more.
Yeah, we'll break it down.
I'm sure there's some skeptics out there.
There definitely is. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be skeptics for everything, you know what I'm saying? And I cornied the fuck out of the video. I did like the YouTube ghost commentary above it. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
So, yeah, so we're going to be checking it out, you know what I'm saying? This might be the last Weekly Wicked Web Show until like mid-November. We'll be talking about all the reasons why that is throughout tonight's show. Yeah, we got a bunch of shit to talk about. Honestly, we really have like a full show to talk about, and we are going to be talking with Humble Among. We're going to bring him in like really very soon, just to kind of like talk about all the topics. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we have Jugs on here, we want to talk Jug shit with Jugs. So that's what we're going to get down to. Like I said. Last show we talked a little bit. I'm going to run this ghost footage and then we're going to talk about it the rest of the episode throughout segments and shit just to get it out of the way because we ended the last show with this footage. I am going to go ahead and play it now just to kind of like I'm not even going to play it on the fucking YouTube. I'm going to play it directly through here. Just give me a second. But I'm going to play it now, get it out of the way. It is still spooky season. We are running the spooky shit the rest of October, and we're going to kind of get into
Halloween.
Yeah, man. Well, with Halloween coming up real soon, Halloween coming up real soon, so we're going to be talking about all that shit. Hold on, I'll just Let's still open up the wrong drive shit. Here we go. Oh, fuck that. I'm not using this one. That's not the one I want to use. My bad, y'all. I should have had this like super ready for this one, but I really wasn't even going to play it until like the end of the video or the end of the shit. But I want to get it out of the way now. We ended the last show talking about this footage, and everyone was like, "Yo, you should fucking actually post this shit." Like I said, it wasn't something that I was ever going to do because it just seemed, I don't know, like even when I found it, it just seemed weird. I don't know, like to post a fucking some ghost footage or whatever. But this is it.
Is this the enhanced?
Yeah, this is the enhanced footage. So
we're gonna break that shit down.
Exactly. It's not long. It's only like a minute. This is the enhanced footage. So I'm Jiggy Fresh. Let me throw my headphones on. Sorry,
yo,
what is up?
What up, dope?
Pull your headphones away from at least that microphone.
Yeah.
So Jiggy was on here last week when we showed the video. I sent the video to Jiggy Fresh to make sure that he checked it out and then showed like his daughter and stuff because like we had to get the YouTube generation's input on this shit.
So gotta get the input.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and post this right now. If you're into the paranormal shit, after we play this video, I'm playing it now so you guys could talk about it throughout the whole the rest of the video, and we could kind of debate it throughout the whole video. And we're gonna talk about it. Shout out Just Dave. We'll be talking about some shit with Just Dave later on as the show goes on.
I'm excited.
Hell yeah,
it's gonna be crazy.
So we're gonna play it now before we bring Humble Among in, and then you guys could talk about this shit, and we can talk about it, reference this video, the rest of the show, whatever. But just kind of get it out of the way. Like I said, we ended the show last week or the week before with this. Really like Salamander and Ace Tone and shit. They were like, "Yo, you should put this shit up." They were like tripping out on it last week. So I put it up, and like I said, dude,
mad props to them.
Hell yeah, for actually, because like this sat on my laptop after I found it. It's now sat on my laptop for basically like a year. I wasn't gonna post it or whatever just because of that shit. But when since I did post it, I leaned into the gimmick, as our guest will say, I'm sure frequently throughout our conversations. But I leaned into the gimmick of YouTube here, and I really added the commentary and spooky music. So enjoy. Let me know what you guys think. Is it a fucking ghost or what the fuck is it? Here we go. Run this shit.
During a trip to the Smoky Mountains, we put a GoPro on the hood of our car to show the dark road up to our private cabin just outside of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. A year later, while going over the footage, this is what we found.
Fuck you, Darby. Straight up.
I've seen that too.
All right, here's the enhanced footage. Did you see it there? If not, we're going to slow it down. All right, it starts as an orb from where this arrow's at and comes from off of the tree or behind the tree, and then you'll see it turn into that shadow there and fucking basically disappear right into my car. Now we zoom in and slow it down, and you'll see the orb fully there. Look at this fucking orb come off the tree and then manifest into some fucking shadow.
Motherfucker.
So I don't know, you guys fucking think what you will. Was it a cat for Darby says? But if it was a cat, it would have ran into my car. You know what I'm saying? I would have reacted in some way. I feel like if it was a cat. If you look if you zoom in, I mean, you see right through this. It's a shadow of some kind. It doesn't explain the orb at all. But you guys go ahead and talk about that shit. I don't know. You guys think what you want. If it was a cat, like I said, if it was a fucking cat, Darby, I would have fucking killed it. I know you have obsessions with killing cats, and all your neighbors are always missing their cats and shit. And you're like, oh, it was the hurricane, but really you were killing them. But I understand, dog. Look, it couldn't have been the eyes, bro. It couldn't have been. I don't know. Look, maybe I'm just too into it because it blew my mind, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Darby just fucking hates paranormal shit, bro. He just
Darby's got a cat, so I could he would. I can see him, and I just maybe he's a paranormal expert, but
Hey, no cat move that fast, bro.
No cat would just run and disappear into my car. You know what I'm saying? Either.
Cats are fast. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Cats are fast as fuck, but not that fucking fast.
You know what I'm saying?
All
fucking right. Darby over here being fucking Zach Baggins. That's why he wants to beat up Zach Baggins, because he's over here fucking on his Zach Baggins shit right now. Yeah. All right, we are going to bring in Humble Among to talk about some of this shit. we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, including like, we got Darby.
Darby hates Zach Baggins, bro.
We're gonna be talking the Tomb. We're gonna be talking all kinds of shit, including all the stuff that Humble Among's got going on. But yeah, I know like a lot of people in the chat are here to check it out. So let's fucking do this.
What up?
What up, my guy?
So I have to say, Darby said that shit's a cat. I think that might be a bat.
A bat?
Because it looks like something. I agree. Something drops out, and it to me it looks like it's like the shadow of something flying. I don't know. It does look like something drops, but like, and then it like maybe soars away.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Like, it looks
Can
like
we see it again? Can we see it again?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's run that shit again.
It's definitely something. It's definitely something.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be
shot.
something, right? Like, and
but
when I first
it
noticed
is weird as fuck. If it is a cat, that cat's dropping out of a fucking tree and running.
A bat, it wouldn't be moving in so as smooth as
it's a flying ass,
man.
All right, I'm gonna run this shit again for you guys. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, welcome to the show and all that. You know what I'm saying? Bringing you in on this.
I do have to say I am honored to be on when you're showing some paranormal clips, though. That is kind of my shit. So I was excited when you're like, I'm gonna show some paranormal footage. I'm like, oh shit.
And I know like, yeah, I know you're into this type of shit, and I know that you're on YouTube and all that too. So here, this video, I mean, like, I'm sure you've seen, like all of us have seen several fucking ghost videos on YouTube, so I never wanted to be the one to put one up. But man, this is like some fucking compelling footage here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna run the shit again.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see this again. I'm curious if people, what other people think about the bat theory.
Yeah, you guys think about the bat theory as you watch this. You know what I'm saying? I'll try to break it down for you guys more as it goes.
We put a GoPro on the hood of our car to show the dark road up
compelling
outside of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. A year later, while going over the footage, this is what we found.
I'll make it big again for you guys to see. And it's almost impossible to see in the full darkness. I see how, I don't know, man. Even a fly, you would think that there would be at least something to show. Like, it just seems like it moves too fast for it to be flight without still running maybe into the car. I don't know.
It's a cat. I think it's a Batman. Is it Batman?
Here.
But it looks like,
I don't know. It might be too big. Is it fucking owl? See, my thought initially. So in Vermont, there's like bats will sort of fly at your car, but then realize and then go up above your car and shit. You'll see that while you're driving and shit. Yeah. So that was my initial thought, but I don't know. That it feels like it's a shadow of something, though. I don't know.
And just like the way that the way that shadows work, though, I mean, the shadow would be the other way. You know what I'm saying? As my car is going in,
it's got legs and a tail.
I mean, it seems like it seems like a tail in the end. I don't see the legs, but it does almost like it trails off into a tail, though. But that looks like it as it's like almost rising up. And like the bat theory, because of course I'm going to be skeptical about it but I was there, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing flew at my car. My windows were down in the car. It was a hot summer night in Tennessee. So, I mean, I had my windows down.
Anything.
You didn't notice anything
until afterwards.
I actually didn't notice that. I didn't even see the footage until we did Clown Apocalypse last year, and I needed some memory off of my GoPro, and I cleared some space off of the memory card that I was using in it.
Right.
And I looked at this shit, and I was like sitting in my fucking pitch black room watching this footage, and that was really the only reason why I even saw the shadow. And then to see the orb, I was trying to record it on my iPhone to like show everybody on the iPhone, or like the actual video, and the iPhone grabs more light that was in it, and that's when I first saw the orb, and then we started kind of going off of that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely something. I mean, that's the problem with so much paranormal shit, though, is like it sometimes it's interpreted as being so fucking weird. You don't know what it is, and it could be just a fucking cat or a bat.
And that's the thing is, like, I've just been saying just like, unknown. There was some high strangeness, you know what I'm saying? I just don't know what it is. But that's kind of reason why I also played it in the beginning of the episode, so that everyone could kind of just fucking talk about it the rest of the time.
Darby's going to be hating the whole time.
Oh, yeah, because Darby fucking is going to hate. But if we had him out here, he'd be on his Zach Baggins shit like, now we go look in the dark crevices of Tennessee to find Catman. You know what I'm saying?
So straight up,
man.
we actually went into the haunted woods of Vermont. There's like something called the Bennington Triangle out here, and we actually went out there to try to find this like abandoned village and shit that's in the middle of the woods. We couldn't find the abandoned village and shit, but we were actually in some haunted forest allegedly, just like this past weekend. And shit.
Those pictures that you had posted, was that area you were talking about?
Yeah. We were in the Bennington Triangle, it's called. But there's allegedly a bunch of weird shit that happens out there: UFO sightings, Bigfoot sightings, a series of mysterious disappearances that may or may not be like missing 411-esque related type of shit. I was
gonna say in that thick forestry of Vermont, I would think of like missing 411 and Bigfoot shit for sure.
Yeah,
allegedly, the missing 411 shit scares the fuck out of me. I'm often in national parks. I'm often off by myself, and we were on a kayaking trip one time, and I had just watched one of the missing 411 documentaries, and I got separated to go scout ahead, and then like where I was at, everything was quiet, and I didn't hear everybody anymore, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm about to get missing 411 in this bitch!" Like I was about to get glitched out. Yeah,
like that first documentary is really good, but the second one's so fascinating to me because the second one focuses so much on the hunters, you know?
Yeah, the people like, that you wouldn't think that it would happen to.
Yeah, and like that one real expert guy who had like the caches set up, and he like really knew the area.
Yeah, and how far and like straight away from this stuff. Yeah, that shit
just doesn't make sense. Like the shit just doesn't make sense. There's so many questions of like, well, why would he have even done that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, those ones on that hunted one for sure really got me. It was like, these are people who are, have been out in these areas, trained in these areas, have, spent years growing up in these areas, and then could get miles off. And then some of the ways that they showed up, like if that was the guy like in Montana who like, took his boots off, is that spot where
we are talking about the same guy.
Drank a energy drink, and he was basically overlooking houses, and then still just died there like that, or that's fine.
Well, like the energy drink was like on a log, and they thought he must have been sitting there and looking at the houses, like he could see the houses from where he would have been sitting drinking that energy drink. Like, so it's like, well, what the fuck? And then they found
he was enjoying this energy drink, like, hey man, I made it. Now I'm gonna drink this last energy drink and go get rescued after all this time, and then
I don't know.
Those ones, how far that guy made it, especially without his boots, and then for them to find his pack there, so they know that it was him that made it over there, or at least someone. That's just crazy.
And at the end of Hunted, they definitely try to make a connection to Bigfoot, which is a popular theory with all this missing 411 shit, that Bigfoot may or may not be kidnapping people.
I think that it could be really I don't know anything that missing 411 shit, and just like kind of related back to this video, there are kind of those cryptid things anywhere. This could be like a Bigfoot type cryptid thing that we've seen. It wasn't a fucking cat. But.
Well, cat bat. I guess it is a cryptid.
Yeah, that'd be a cryptid, right? Like this could be. Made one. We could be creating the legend of the cat bat cryptid from Tennessee. It'd be Batman or Catman. They call him.
I think you need to change the name of the video to
the cat bat of Tennessee. Yo, the fucking hits are gonna, the views are gonna go up on that bitch.
Then you get the people are like, ooh, this is a cryptid I've never heard of before and shit.
Shit. There's gonna be a fucking Reddit about the cat bat from Tennessee, cat Batman from Tennessee.
Cat Batman.
Yo, that might be one of the interesting ways we've brought a guest onto the show, though. So,
facts. I love it. I love it.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, so definitely welcome to the show and shit. It is spooky season, and kind of relating to something that you just did. Look, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you a little bit of warning right now. I'm going to talk tons of Halloween spoilers, because if you were going to see it, you've already watched it. And if not, you've already heard that it's not worth watching. So, in my opinion, at least. But we're going to kind of go off it, because I watched your video, and I like it. I have a bunch of thoughts on it. And for those of you who don't know, like, the movie is and Dilly the God's not in here right now, but he said months ago he has a feeling that it was going to end with that this movie was going to be super controversial in some way. And fuck you, Darby, you ruined it for me. You ruined Halloween Kills for me, so I don't want to hear that bullshit. But if you haven't watched it, it was controversial. You let out a video and you talked about why you liked it. Can you kind of, for like, I mean, look, we're right now. I'm just going to base this off of you saw it. Everybody who's watching. So kind of just.
I'll try not to spoil it too much, but because I did do a no spoiler review because I figured because here's the thing, I saw literally nothing but negative reactions when I first came, so I did go in with low expectations. First of all, I do have to make that, and I liked Halloween Kills, but it wasn't the best fucking Halloween movie to me or anything. I liked it though. I thought it was really fun. I thought let me first of all talk about Halloween Kills a little bit, because I see a lot of people upset that Michael isn't in the movie more. Michael isn't more super powered more or something because he got so gassed up in Halloween Kills. So in Halloween Kills, Michael has a couple of what I interpret as very fucking lucky scenes. The firefighter fight, and then the shit with that gun with for
him to even make it to the firefighter fight. Yeah. In Halloween Kills.
Even to get out of the house. Start the firefighter.
This is Michael Myers that, that's the Michael Myers that I guess, we know and love and everything. But to me, he did get lucky, I guess, to make it through that.
Right. But so you can interpret it as luck, but I almost interpret it as this weird way of like, because to me, these movies are about how communities want to build up a boogeyman, want to build up a legend. Like a community needs something to blame. You know what I mean? And that's especially what Halloween Ends is about, because of introducing this other character. He's almost the new thing, because Michael's not here. Where's Michael been for 4 years? Michael isn't around, so we need something new to blame. Let's blame this kid. I feel like
that could have worked, and I feel like that whole thing would have worked if Michael would have just died in the last one. You know what I'm saying? Like in your video, you guys should watch, if you guys like, I mean, because honestly, I like hearing other people's opinion about shit that I like or don't like or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And when you were tying it back, and a lot of people are making the original Halloween 3 references, Season of the Witch, and
exactly.
How,
and that was
when everyone saw that was they were super disappointed or whatever. And I was really young or whatever when that, like, I don't even know, like, I can't remember. I didn't see that until way after or whatever. And by then I already knew that, Michael Myers wasn't going to be in it. And I remember my mom and my brother and stuff being all super like, oh, this isn't Halloween. This isn't Halloween. And that's how we all are sounding now. This isn't Halloween. This is Halloween. But the thing that really had it going for him in Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is that the only reference to Michael Myers in that movie is the movie playing on TV or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this movie, the whole thing that they did with this Corey guy, it would have worked way better had they not showed Michael Myers like at all, only in like remembrances of what he did, because that whole shit works. Like, you know what I'm saying? That they did that it ruined this community, and they needed someone else to either point the finger at, or they needed someone else was going to be radicalized and become a killer or something. They did need that, and I dig that for sure. But I feel like the only reason why it didn't work is because Michael Myers was still alive, and after what they showed us in Halloween Kills, it was like they expect me to believe that then for the next 4 years, Michael's just been chilling in this sewer, not gotten any dirtier. His mask hasn't deteriorated. His hair hasn't grown. He got over he's not dead from his fingers being chopped off or whatever. At the end of Kills, they made it seem like he was superhuman. You know what I'm saying? The evil had fed into him.
That he's been bringing people in there to kill occasionally. That homeless guy.
Oh, that homeless guy.
We're getting into spoilers. Yeah, he does say something about he brings people in and they usually don't come out when Corey comes out and encounters the homeless guy. There's a part. Right. There's a part when he's in the sewer, right? When Corey is holding a fucker for Michael to kill. And Michael's kind of weak, but it feels like he powers the fuck up. It feels like he powers the fuck up after he kills. So I had this like weird theory when I saw that, like maybe Michael draws his power from murder. Like that's what's been slowly sustaining him. Maybe he's doing a little bit of light cannibalism here and there on some of those bodies that he's dragging, and maybe he's eating a dog or two. Like
he's that's what I was wondering. Like, at least like show him that he was hunting some dogs or something.
Yeah,
I needed some of that. I did need some of that.
And here's the thing: I saw a meme. I don't know how accurate this is, but I saw a meme that was like the original Halloween '78. Michael's only on camera for like 10 minutes, or no, he's only on camera for 9 minutes, and the new one he's on camera for 10. So he's actually more in this movie than he is in 78.
Yeah.
So it's all in how you use it. You know what I mean? So maybe they didn't use him the right way for some people. I don't even think this movie's about Michael Myers though. Straight up, I think like Halloween 3. like Halloween 3, this movie's not really about Michael Myers. And the big tip off is that title font. As soon as I saw that blue font, I'm like, motherfucker, they're subverting expectations. They're doing something different on purpose. That's what this movie is. So I knew what I was going into
for sure. I didn't watch any of the trailers, and like I didn't know what to expect really kind of going into it, but I did expect it to be better all around than Halloween Kills, because I even thought Halloween Kills was lackluster, but then when you looked at it as like the setup to the end of a trilogy, it was way cooler to look at it that way. But then when you got to the end of the trilogy, I feel like even Laurie's character, I mean, for 40 years she was hiding at the fact that Michael could get out. Now she knows he's out somewhere. He killed her daughter. Spoiler alert, you know what I'm saying? Killed her daughter, you know what I'm saying? And she's like not taking it as serious as she did now. She's like, oh, you know what? Now that he's just out there somewhere and we don't know where he's at, I'm going to let's carve pumpkins and you should go get banged up at Halloween parties and stuff. You know, like I felt like it really kind of ruined her character as the way that it set her up in Kills then too, where, you know, she has to be, I mean, yeah, she kills fucking Michael Myers, but even that was kind of,
Yeah. I mean, I will admit towards the second half of the movie, it does lose me a couple of times with some of the logic of some of the things that are going on. But I mean, there's so much dope shit to me. Like once again, it's about a community wanting to make a monster to me. And to me, it's so interesting how so much of the horror community has reacted to this movie, because it's almost like a meta commentary of like the narrative in the movie. Like they want Michael to be like, it's almost like they want Michael to be a monster. Like they want him to kill, you know what I mean? And that's what I think people were disappointed by largely, is they wanted more killing. They wanted more violence. So it's kind of, it's interesting to me. To me, it's a great piece of art. To me, I like these artsy fartsy fucking horror movies just as much as I like a good slasher film. And to me, this is more in that artsy area. Like I straight up called this movie. I turned to Emily halfway through the movie and I'm like, this isn't even a horror movie. This is a dramedy of some sort. Like a really indie drama with some light comedy
going on. I want to see the orchids and the cherry blossoms in Japan type shit, you know, like the riding on the motorcycle, the love like chemistry. I feel like you know, there could have been other ways to bring those two together that didn't have to involve that. Just I don't know, some of those things were frustrating, but
like all that stuff feels like it's a drama, like it's like an indie romantic dramedy of some kind, like. That riding on
the motorcycle scene really was like, oh, I was like, come on, man. And I started messaging the group chat that we're in, and I was like, I'm only watching at this point because I have to see how it ends. But like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, you know, if you guys want to see how it ends and you haven't watched it yet, I mean, we haven't really ruined it completely for you.
Yeah, we talked about a couple of little things. I don't feel like we ruined anything.
We'll have to watch it soon. I know me and Jordan were talking about watching it, so. But
if you've watched it up to this point, go ahead and watch it. And I think it might age better right now because of it's going to be hot, you know what I'm saying? And it's got to catch all the heat from everybody who are going to hate on it for a little bit. But I think that it might get better. I mean, Halloween Season of the Witch is now some people's favorite all-around Halloween movie. You know what I'm saying?
And the point I made in my video too was when I first saw Halloween 3 as a kid, I hated it because Michael wasn't in it. Now though. As I got older, I fucking love that movie. There's so much weird shit, and it's such a bizarre movie. The fucking bag. And here's another thing.
It's such an awesome
the main character movie, of Halloween 3. Here's another parallel. I don't know if people have noticed. The main character of Halloween 3 is kind of a fucking shithead. He's like abandoning his kids. He's an alcoholic. He's fucking this random broad in the hotel room. But the main character, Corey, not such a great guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of a bad dude. Like, even what happens in the beginning of Halloween ends.
And it's cool to see his character come down.
The morality of that. Like, because he did, he did what he did. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to walk the line and not spoil it too much for people.
100%, yeah.
I mean, the movie opens with that thing.
I think that it could work as a standalone movie. And I feel like they almost ruined the opportunity of having a standalone movie that would be like that, to where, 3-4 years down the line, this movie comes out and it starts the same way that Halloween Ends did. And it's a Halloween movie, but it's Halloween, something else, and it follows this character who is maybe even still intertwined with the family and makes those same occurrences, but Michael Myers isn't alive and nobody's worried about Michael Myers anymore. And just as the fear of Michael Myers was wore off, this new homegrown killer is out there who snaps and goes on his rampage. And I think that would totally have worked as its own movie. And I think I would have liked it a little bit more. They set this movie too much up as the end of Michael Myers, and nobody just looked at it as it being the end of Michael Myers and what it could mean, for the series in itself, I guess.
Like, I feel like it's the end of this trilogy. It's definitely the end of this trilogy. It's not the end of Michael. And nothing ever will kill Michael Myers. They'll constantly be doing different versions and iterations of this character. I feel like he's a horror icon at this point. He's like like Frankenstein, He's going to keep coming back. Like, they're going to eventually make another fucking Frankenstein movie, I assume. Yeah. Michael's a really important part of horror at this point. I want to ask a question, though. When without spoiling it too much, did anyone pick up on Batman and Robin vibes?
No, and like just how they're trading of each other, like
I mean, there's like a bat cave almost, if you will,
where they go and hide out and they recuperate, and he's getting trained in the bat cave. Yeah, 100%. Now that you mention it, I totally get that vibe for sure. Yeah, and that, I don't know, just a lot of it was so fucking weird to me, like I don't know, like I said, I went into this shit saying I would totally spoil shit because you should have seen it by now if you're gonna watch it. But like, there is a scene where it's just like, how the fuck? Like, this is just so weird that it's happening. But you guys just watch the shit still.
Yeah, just watch it.
I think one of the parts that like I thought visually, and it like when you think about it, when Laurie wakes Corey up at that house and where he was sleeping at, I just thought that was like, yeah, this guy's a total fucking like it. It's just super creepy where, she wakes up and he's just laying in that pile. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was just so.
He's like full heel at that point, too. He's saying really shitty things.
Totally shitty things.
Yeah. He's like going full heel. He's like, you can see him. There's a certain point in the movie, too, where he does something. I forget what. He kills someone. And I'm like, all right, now he's like, there's no redeem. Like some of the other murder that happened, that was kind of like, all right, maybe a gray area. This is like he's completely irredeemable now. Like he's crossed the line.
Yeah, and it is cool to see as he slowly becomes, this killer. This and lets everything everything finally wears out at him. And I don't know, man. Like I said, there's parts of it that are pretty cool. The kills were great. When there was some killing, it was great for those who did want to see some kills. There were some cool, unique ones. Yeah.
I think it's really late into the movie before. I mean, it starts with a death. Yeah. But
there's not any cool kills
before like a slasher kill happens. It's really late into the movie. Really, I want to say it's like an hour into the fucking movie. Yeah,
it's really like the last half hour of the movie is like, all right, I guess this is what we've kind of been waiting for. But there's a whole bunch of that in between that. I don't know. It just wasn't what I was looking for, especially after coming out of Kills. I don't know. After coming out of Kills. And then everyone's like, oh, about the 4-year layover. I didn't think that was going to be, like, bad. I thought it was going to be a little bit different, though. But they played it their own way. I don't know, man. That's horror movies these days. Did you watch the new Hellraiser?
Yes, I did. I like that. I have to rewatch it, though, because I think I was fucking falling asleep a little bit towards the end, so I do have to rewatch it. I loved it, though. I thought the visuals were great. I thought they did something cool with doing something new, but still, like, kind of paying homage in a couple of ways to the old ones and shit. The visuals were fucking awesome, though. To me, it was on point. Great.
Yeah, it really was. I dug that a lot. Actually, I liked that a little bit more than Halloween. And I think that a lot more.
I started watching it, but it was like when I was getting off from work, so it was kind of like I was like half awake, so I gotta watch it like on the weekends or something,
Yeah, that's where I was at with it, kind of.
Yeah, I think there's someone was saying there's a video, I think, on YouTube, and it shows all the practical effects and all of them in their costumes and stuff for the movie. I'd like to take a look at.
Definitely was falling asleep.
Yeah, because the shit looked dope. Hell yeah. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody in the chat. Humble Among's in here right now, and you just released the Halloween Tape 5.
Yes, I did. I got the fucking copy we unboxed here, right here. Going to be giving this away to someone who leaves a funny comment on the last Humble Among broadcast system that we did. I'm going to be giving that away. But yeah, I just dropped it last Friday. It's been out for a week. Halloween Tape 5, The Revenge of Candy Hoffman. It's kind of like it's been sound wise, it's been something I've been planning for like fucking 2.5 years or something. I've been collecting beats from different producers. I've been asking for beats that were like, specifically, I would tell producers, give me beats that sound like Korn or fucking Marilyn Manson or fucking Nine Inch Nails. So give me some new metal sounding shit. Give me some industrial sounding shit. I would say these type of things to producers just to see what I would get back. And I've been collecting beats kind of for the last 2 years, hoarding beats almost, building this project. And so it's finally like landed on Halloween Tape 5. This was like, I guess, where the sounds really landed. And yeah, it ended up being a kind of what I'm calling like a meta wicked shit album. It's a wicked shit album that's about the wicked shit is the way I'm kind of describing it right now. But it also kind of towards the end of it turns away from the wicked shit and kind of gets onto some other shit. It gets bigger than just about the genre. You know what I mean? It gets more about like, what does evil mean? What does it mean to be human and be evil, and the duality of man and all that kind of shit. And ego. True. It gets really into ego towards the end of it.
I really dig that Ego Death track on there for sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Honestly, one of my favorites off that joint.
I had a lot of fucking trouble with that fucking song. I probably redid the fucking bridge part on that like 3 or 4 times before I landed on a pretty simple bridge. That was kind of there in my head at the whole time. Sorry, my fucking camera's doing that thing again. It was kind of there the whole time in my head, but I just had to kind of find it. But I was driving myself crazy with that song. But I was so happy that I found the bridge that I wanted for that song. I do this thing where I like obsessively change things like right towards the end of release, and I probably drive mixing and mastering people crazy. Shouts out to Bad Mind, who really quite gracious putting up with my bullshit with that. Bad Mind mixed and mastered almost the whole project. Maisie from Scythe Gang mixed and mastered the first song, and she did a fucking fantastic job. Honestly, I would probably have had Maisie mix and master that whole gimmick if I could fucking afford it.
That first song, the first official song is the Wicked Shit is Dead. And then
that's the one she did. And it fucking thumps so good. Bad Mind did an excellent job, by the way, but I would love to hear a version of the album that was all Maisie done.
Yeah, I really dig that then too. That Wicked Shit is Dead is fire. Another one, and
really
you're talking about how it is about
cowbells.
Yeah, you hear it for sure. And you were talking about how it is like, kind of about like, the wicked shit and stuff like that. And I even did like
the first half of the album is pretty much completely about that.
Yeah, Masks and Makeup is those like I wrote down like some of my top 3 before like the deep cuts like Revenge and shit. But Masks and Makeup, I really dig that a lot, especially with a lot of the people in horrorcore and
I mean, if you're in the horrorcore scene, I feel like a lot of people have felt the way that I'm talking in that song. If you're in the horrorcore scene, and that's a song I've been wanting to make for years, and I haven't had the balls to make it because I knew when I made that song I'm going to offend a lot of people. But I even say in that song, some of y'all are the shit, but most of y'all are drizzling.
Yeah, no, 100%.
That's the way I feel.
Well, some people do wear the masks because they suck at rapping live, so they wear the mask to protect them from ever having
it's a fear thing.
Yeah, not even just a fear thing. It's also then they can hide that they're actually not rapping into the microphone.
Hey, that part too. That
happens quite a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And I know people who went from like painting their faces to wearing masks, and I think it was all an attempt to hide the fact that they were covering up like bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And really, like, I mean, like, and I don't hate on anybody for the gimmick. Gimmicks gimmicks sell like a motherfucker or whatever. But I also feel like
gimmicks.
No, it's part of it. It's part of a, it's part of a character.
But my whole point with it is that there's a right way and a wrong way. Like, that's almost like the song before that, actually, Off Brand. That deals with that exact idea, like that, because there's so many motherfuckers that just want to do a straight up copy, and that's what the cover's about. You know what I mean? That's what the cover's about. I just slapped Candy Hoffman on all these fucking very obvious candy logos because that's what it feels like so many fuckers in the scene do. I mean, and that's not just wicked shit. That's music. That's all of music.
Definitely.
Yeah, because everyone you start listening to something and everyone likes that thing, so then they want to sound like that thing. I was just listening to Rick Rubin talk the other day, and that's what he was saying. Like, he first got into making the rap beats that he was making because nobody else was making rap like that. They were making like band hip hop beats, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that you'd play like for like a club and like a nightclub or whatever. And then he started making. Yeah, basically, where you had a drummer, you had a guitarist and shit, you know what I'm saying, who was like, you know, and like playing these fucking beats or whatever, like I think like fucking Cool Mo D type shit or whatever, like fucking.
Because a lot of disco records were sampled early in hip hop. There were rock records being thrown in there, but Rick really threw in the rock shit.
Rick really then he came and he more like I mean, he was creating on a drum machine, so it was more like drum focused beats that he ended up doing. But then he said after everybody just started emulating that, like once like, you know, Run DMC got huge or whatever, he said like the next step was to integrate it with like rock, like he ended up doing. But then everyone started just like
shit. Specifically is what I think of.
Walk This Way. I mean, he like Walk This Way essentially bridged this huge gap of hip hop and rock, and then brought back a rock group. I mean, like that track really saved Aerosmith at that time. You know, Aerosmith had fallen off, where Aerosmith was a arena band before, and then right around that time, when Keith Perry, I think, or is that was his name, right? Who's in
Tyler.
No, not Tyler. Not Steven Tyler. The other guy.
Oh, the Ghost fella. Oh,
yeah,
Keith Richards. Talking about the guitarist.
No, not Keith Richards. That's fucking.
Jesus Christ!
Other band, someone
look up Aerosmith real quick.
But I'm pretty sure that's his name. I'm pretty sure it was Keith Perry or whatever. I'm not a big
Joe Perry.
Fan. Joe Perry. Thank you. But anyway, he ended up leaving the band, and they were playing fucking like shitty fucking clubs with like nobody there, fucking like nobody. You know what I'm saying? And like right around this time, they fucking did this fucking shit with Run DMC or whatever, and that kind of like bridged that gap. But I feel like that's always what's ended up happening, like, you know what I'm saying? So like anybody who is staying ahead of the game or like doing something different, nobody likes it until everybody's doing that same shit, you know what I'm saying? And that's like that's what happens all the time right now, where like, and it's like in this chapter of even horrorcore, there is a sound that started a few years ago, and now everyone who weren't doing that sound before, when they're in their own lane, now want to copy those sounds because that sound is what's selling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of copycat culture, unfortunately, and it's like, I mean, there's really different lanes of the copycats if you want to go really deep with it. It's I see a lot of it. And it just is so tiring to me because I'm just. And to me, you know, and shouts out to Darby for fucking having a song about this, because it's something that I damn near monthly will put out a tweet where I will complain about this. Rappers, please stop rapping about rapping. It's so fucking boring and tiresome. And I love that Darby put a fucking song out where he's basically expresses that sentiment, because I'm so fucking sick and tired of hearing rappers rap about how fucking dope they are. To me, there's a million other stories you could tell with this art form. And you choose to just brag about how fresh you are. Like, I don't know, that's a part of hip hop culture. I understand that braggadocio culture, and there's a place for that. And I definitely indulge in that shit too. But I mean, if that's all you do,
but I mean, like, I feel like how you're saying, it does only work for so many people. That like to rap like that, it only works so much, and for everybody else to start doing it, it definitely sucks. The people like Darby out there who are constantly creating like original sounding shit. I've heard you on several different kind of beats when we're like, you have a whole tape with fucking Shaggy Theirhead beats or whatever. Yes. You have tracks with Dev, and then you have tracks with whoever your other producer is. And I mean, like, it's always about keeping it different. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
then what? Shouts out to Koske. I just want to shout out my homies real quick.
So I feel like these people like that have to stay different. You know what I'm saying? And that's what is keeping this shit still going. And eventually, if it's not already happening, people will be emulating Darby and Humble Among tracks because it's different and they need to catch up with the different thing. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I mean, I see a little bit of it. I mean, there's rappers in my area I feel like low key I have influenced just because they see a juggalo popping kind of in the scene. Like, I'm not even really popping like that in the scene out here, but like honestly, a lot of the rappers out here fucking straight up do not like me and do not like the fact that a juggalo rapper is getting any sort of attention that I'm getting out here. They really fucking don't like me. But I mean, it is what it is. I almost relish that shit at this point. I kind of like knowing that. That's a bit of the Andy Kaufman element of me that like almost wants to work with that a little bit and play with that element a little bit. I don't know. That's where the name Candy Hoffman does come from, by the way. It's definitely a shout out to the song and dance man known as Andy Kaufman. I'm a fucking huge fan of the dude.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I kind of got that off the whole thing, man. That's pretty dope. And there's 5 of these tapes, man. So you guys should check them out. I think they're really fresh. I really first heard of I think I might have heard of your YouTube first or whatever. When did I heard about your YouTube around the time sometime after the Indiana gathering, because I watched your Indiana gathering recap.
Yep. Straight up, the Indiana gathering was my first gathering. That was right after I got back into the Juggalo world, because I straight up was not into so my history with the Juggalo culture is that I got into the shit around Great Malenko as a teenager, was really fucking into it throughout Bizarre era. And then when the 6 dropped, I was one of the Juggalos that did not like the unveiling. I was not a fan of the unveiling. And I straight up was not like, I would dip in and out. I would check out releases. I remember listening to Hell's Pit when it came out. I remember listening to The Tempest and hating it when it came out. Now I love The Tempest, which is so ironic.
A lot of people hate The Tempest. It's so wild, and it is. It's like I feel like it's the most underrated fucking outside of Joker's card. One of my favorites.
That era is extremely underrated. And talking about paranormal shit, I always go on raps about the paranormal and the Dark Carnival, because I do think that's a huge element of everything that's going on in this world, starting all the way back at the beginning when Violent J had his vision, which I think I almost interpret that as a paranormal event in itself. It seems to me like he had what do you call it? Not night terrors, but sleep paralysis. I think that was a sleep paralysis encounter that he had, and he interpreted his witch or his man in the black hat as a clown, with black and white paint. You know what I mean? Because it's often shadow that they see. I think it's really interesting if you think about it in that way. I think even starting there, it birthed these. I call ICP paranormal clowns a lot, or supernatural clowns. And if you listen to songs in that era, they call themselves that. I think in that era after the 6, they were trying to rebrand themselves as being these paranormal supernatural clowns, but it just didn't stick. People like me fucking dropped the hatchet and was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, and then they just turned that all into like, oh no, these were the side shows that we were doing of the Dark Carnival. We're gonna run that 6 Jokers card gimmick right back on it.
Yeah, we'll go right back around. And that worked for them. And they got real fucking big again. And I'll be honest, what brought me back is there was a show coming to my area, and I had been dipping back into listening to the old ICP records and being like, man, I love this shit back in the day. Like listening to them at work and shit and just being nostalgia bombing myself, you know? And I had never seen them live, right? And so I went to 2018. I went to see them live for the first time, and I saw the Fago flying, and that's when it fucking really like struck me, man. Like seeing that in person, I was like, whoa, what in the fuck? And then I just started dancing, bro, like to all these fucking songs that I loved as a kid. Yeah, and it was a really important moment to me. And then, so I didn't go to that gathering. I didn't go to Whoopstock that year. I sat and I watched it on the internet. And there was a lot of Juggalo streamers kind of starting to pop off. I think it was, somebody streamed walking through the gathering, right? And I was like, oh shit, that's fresh. Just to see the shit. That's so fresh. And like being at home and wishing, I like feeling like I fucked up and like I should have been there. I was like, fuck, man. And so it definitely put a germ of an idea in my head. And I had seen American Juggalo at that point. I think I had seen the Family Underground documentary. And I was like, man, I just want more Juggalos. I just want more talking with Juggalos. That's all I want to see. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm going to put that on YouTube. I'm going to go to the gathering next year and I'm going to put that shit on YouTube. And that's what I did. That's what that Shimmer Forest shit is. That was me going to my first gathering and documenting.
I have to say, man, I honestly think that's super fresh because, like, I've been to a bunch of gatherings and I always like, yo, we're going to document this, we're going to document that. And then once we started doing the MUJ shit, we're like, yo, we're going to document this, we're going to document that, and then never do. So then when I get home, I look forward to people like you who did make sure that you guys did do that and watch it. And I've watched that Shimmer Forest video. I watched like, you know, all kinds of shit just at the off chance someone to see me, or maybe we did fucking talk or whatever on video, and just to like relive this shit.
Draw.
You know,
that's a big draw. People do want to look for themselves. They want to see themselves in the crowd,
in the background, bro. Yeah, that's it. That's all they want to see, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll even drop a little gem. That's what humble among means, man. That's what that shit means. Like, I'm fucking out there. You know what I mean? I'm fucking. If you see me at an event, I'm not hiding. It's like I'm out there in the fucking crowd, man, because I'm a fucking fan of this shit at the end of the day. That's why I started my YouTube shit. And that's why I wasn't even pushing my music shit that hard on my YouTube shit, because I didn't want it to seem like I was like, I wanted to be like, this fandom of mine is really what this YouTube shit is about. And I don't push my shit probably as hard as I should on my channel even. I'm trying to get better at integrating that a little bit, but it's a delicate line. I don't want people who are like, oh, he's promoting his shit again, like, to tune out.
No, for sure. That does fucking totally happen. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that's what's really fresh, and that's what I watched. Your videos like that, and then you have another one from, was it the Supa was the Shimmer Forest, right?
So yeah, Supa was Shimmer Forest, and then we had COVID year, so I didn't go to any of the COVID gatherings. From what I understand, there were several little COVID gatherings around the country. I just found out about one that was on the East Coast that year, just recently.
I know they did. Anyway, I know a bunch of jugs went to fucking Nelson Ledges and then like fucked it up.
That was the main one. That was the main one for sure. I kind of wish I would have gone.
I wish I would have went, because that's me and Jiggy went to that place together twice together, and he went another time when I wasn't there. But man, that like those grounds were honestly the most beautiful place that I've ever gathered.
And I hear that from so many juggalos, which made me want to really experience a gathering. Part of me wishes they do go back there at least one more.
That's where the Bazaar gathering was supposed to be at. So the COVID gathering was supposed to be there.
And we were so hype on it being back at that place, because it is, out of any of the places I've been to, is definitely the best one.
I hope that I know Legend Valley, like, they have such a good relationship with Steve Trickle and shit. It's going to be really hard. And you know what? It's not even just Steve Trickle. It's that community. That community fucking loves Juggalo money at the very least.
They love the money, and they're getting a lot of money now. And like really like between like just even the gathering, like Lost Lands, and the several other festivals that they do there, I think the gathering will be there for quite a few more years.
Because there's tons of people I talk to off camera. You know what I mean? There's tons of fresh shit that like the stuff you see on camera is pretty cool. The stuff that happens off camera, I wish.
That's the thing is like all the stuff that happens off of camera. It's like later when we talk about it, we're like, oh, wouldn't it have been cool if we were recording that or whatever. But like most of the shit that happens
told me like. But anyway, so there's lots of people I've talked to like around the area, like of Thornville and Hebron, or however the hell you say that, and they'll like locals and shit. Like I'll ask locals, like, what do you think of the Juggalos? Like, and every time I've gotten nothing but positive things. There's not been like a bad thing about it. Like they're like, oh, we love them every time. It's that. So that I think that is a real big reason why they like being there, because that is what the community feels. They love us.
It's not a bad spot to gather either, man. I really like it. I like it honestly, better than Hog Rock or whatever. I
Fuck Indiana. Holy shit.
Hey, bro, but I like the cool thing about Indiana for us is because I mean we're from Indiana, so it was only like
so it was easy peasy.
It was 3 hours, bro. Like seriously, it was like we could have forgot something at home and drove back and got it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
so big, bro. It was
that was the only thing. We really like honestly like down the one hill where like the Shazam stage was at. I think like after I seen like Shakewell there, I don't know if I ever went back down there the rest of the gathering.
He just went right back up to the fucking main.
Well, just because then to walk down that hill and walk back up that hill the rest of the time was just a motherfucker, you know.
I went up that locally
up at the top, you know. Like after going down it so many times, I think I just stayed on top of that fucking hill.
It's like we're gonna stay up here from now on.
Yeah.
Yo, I wish I could say the same. I was up and down that thing so many times, like forgetting stuff at my tent, going back to my campsite. That was definitely
luckily the campsite that we had all of our shit with that was like right by main stage. So we just basically stayed in that area, and then our friends were farther up that hill or out into the other area. So the only time that we went down that hill was for like a show that we wanted to see or whatever. And I very rarely went over to even like the Cannibal stage because it was just like that hill, coming back up that hill. No matter what, I had to go up that hill to get back to your site. And I was like, yeah, fuck that, dude. And like, no matter what, like we always do gathering prep before the gathering, you know, like walk more than normal, go out on the hike or whatever more than normal. Yeah. But like nothing prepared me for that hill down in Indiana. Because like even when we're from in Indiana, we don't have like, there's not like it's not that hilly. Like we got the dunes and shit up here, but like
dunes.
that's about it. Yeah, we don't have fucking like hills.
And there's
like
trails, nice trails that aren't beat up like that gravel ass.
But even
that's the
fucking
thing.
Legend
that
Valley,
was
it's
pretty
hilly
rough.
like that. Yeah.
That hill was pretty rocky and rough, man. Like that was like, it was similar to how main stage is at Legend Valley or something. Like that fucking hill is very rocky and shit.
Those hills are pretty bad at Legend Valley too, and they were worse before. It seems like they've gotten better and better, and now they've added that stair system through there and
all the paving over stuff.
The money that Lost Lands brings inside to that park like really helps us out.
Lost Lands specifically brings so much.
Lost Lands specifically. That's why like they even like that, like the fence that they redid, that new stage that they put over there, that like the Nightmare stage this year, all of that is like specifically because of Lost Lands shit.
Yeah,
that new campground area that they built and stuff over there was all for Lost Lands shit. And that's dope as fuck because then we get to benefit from all that Lost Lands shit, all the money that goes inside there. Whenever they renew, like even having the paved roads made such a big fucking difference.
Oh yeah, for sure,
definitely. Made lugging that wagon around a lot easier.
Hell yeah.
I have to say though, I think I'm done with that though. I'm done with that lugging. I'm done with that lugging the wagon shit. Oh my god.
Hey, for real, this year we didn't lug it as much as we did the year before. The year before we took that motherfucker with us everywhere. This year we're like, let's just load up what we need and take it with us. You know, like
I think I'm straight up just gonna hotel gather this shit like from now on, man.
That's really
that's all we've been doing.
Yeah, oh my god. I attempted to kind of halfway camp this last year. So like we had a camp set up, but then like we had a hotel for like the last 2 or 3 days or some shit. So we were like itching to fucking go because it was the night it rained. I think was when we woke up and were like, let's go to the hotel. Holy shit. Yeah. So I had my shit all set up and it was the last day and I had to fucking lug all my shit back up the hill while I'm missing so much freshness on main stage. I missed so much dope shit on main stage just because I'm bringing shit up the fucking hill, trying to get pre-prepared and not do that shit at like 1 a.m. or something.
Bro, like I started hotel camping at the 17th annual, but before that I had camped every year that I went before that. And camping at Hog Rock like sucked. It was like the worst shit ever. And that's what really made me stop camp. That the wake up parade that would come through Hog Rock, like the last year that I was there, like I was trying to do that like fake I'm awake, but I was like fucking just nodding right back to sleep in my comfortable spot, like early as fuck in the morning, and they were doing the wake up parade, and I like tried to make myself look like I was awake, and I had fallen asleep, and some motherfucker threw a hay bale on me, bro, just as I had fallen back asleep. I like got up trying to hop and put my shoes on, ready to go chase these motherfuckers down. Like, oh fuck this! It's like I'll never sleep on the grounds again. And I didn't go for a couple years after that. But now every year that I went, we got a hotel. I don't give a fuck. Like hotel life. Like I'll come to the gathering now. You'll smell my motherfucking shampoo still in my hair, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I've earned it. You know what I'm saying? We put in stripes. Me and Jiggy, like back when we were teenagers at fucking like at Nelson Ledges, we got into some shit and still camped and stuff. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that like we've been through camping wise now, like when people talk, oh, you're staying in a hotel. Man, don't give me that shit, bitch. Until you slept on the grounds as many gatherings, don't talk shit. I'm not talking like that fucking sleeping in an RV shit either. People always go, oh, well, I can't, but sleep in a fucking soundproof RV.
You're in an RV. That's the same thing, pretty much. It's the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. I'll never go back to. And it was nice, like you were talking about the rain, dude. And that's how like we woke up and we're like, peeked out the curtain, like, bro, it's fucking coming down hard. Like, yeah, we'll wait it out.
So much of my shit. So much of my shit got ruined. I think I was smart enough to put a bunch of shit on the cot because like anything that would have been really permanently ruined would got fucked up. But I had this book that the homegirl Cheese House had given me, and fucking that shit got a little wrinkled and shit. I still have this book from the gathering being pressed down under another heavy ass book right here, trying to fucking get out the wrinkles from it. But I was so bummed when I saw that because I wanted to read that damn book. But I think it's gonna be able to survive once I press it flat enough over here. But that was really like, I called that shit, by the way. I did call that it was going to be rainy just by simply, checking the fucking weather forecast. I can't really give myself too much credit, but I did call that shit and make a YouTube video about it where, was not a fan of it. Like I'm not happy that it fucking rained. But you know, I heard a lot of stories that it brought a lot of magical fucking moments to people's fucking gathering. You know what I mean?
I feel like it did, man.
Yackleby
sure.
has a great story about it's sort of like washing away their inflatable couch and shit and seeing it like sort of float away on a river and shit. And he talks about it like one of his favorite moments from the gathering. So the magic came in many forms, rain or shine. The thing that really sucked is it really fucked over the LSP main stage thing.
Absolutely.
That was the biggest bone.
And hey, but they still ended up putting it down. Got to see our homies on main stage and fucking kill it, and that was legendary in itself, going from the main stage to the Nightmare stage later on that night.
The second stage,
Hey, you got to do that.
I got to bounce, fellas. I got to get ready for work.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jiggy. Jiggy sporting that motherfucking Hex. Talking on the Moon again. Drop. We'll be playing that track later here in the web show. Jiggy, stay up, brother, and we'll see you real soon.
All right. Peace. Woo-woo.
So you're going to be going on tour with Scum in Canada real soon, right?
Yeah, we're going to Canada.
Around the 23rd of next month?
Yeah, it's starting on the 23rd. Let me pull the gimmicks up here so we get this shit right. Starting on the 23rd, let's see. So yeah, like a Thanksgiving tour. I guess Thanksgiving in Canada is really in October, so they already had their Thanksgiving. But I'll be spending the American Thanksgiving in Canada, so to speak. So this is going to be really interesting to me. Let's see, November 23rd, Montreal, November 24th, Ottawa, November 25th, Kingston, Ontario, and November 27th, Toronto. Little 4-show run with Scum.
Oh yeah, man.
There we go.
And you were unable to make the first part of the tour?
Yeah, there was a couple of dates last week, I believe, that my passport's not here still, which has me a little anxious. It should be here. I honestly expected it this week, so it should be here well before I go to fucking Canada. But here's the thing. I had my fucking birth certificate, which I guess it wasn't good enough of a birth certificate, or was my parents just had saved some weird shit that was just like not really my birth certificate. I don't know. It didn't have an official seal that I apparently needed, so I had to fucking send to South Carolina to get my fucking birth certificate up from South Carolina. So I had to expedite that to get that up here fast, then submit all my paperwork, which I thought it was already well and good. I would have been probably good to go if I had submitted it that day, but that kind of pushed it. Yeah, it said proof of birth, Emily in the chat said. Not a certificate. It said proof of birth on it. I don't know what the fuck that is. Sounds sketchy as shit, though.
What's the difference?
It definitely makes me think that I might not be a human being, and they just threw together some really weird, sketchy shit to be like, yeah, he's definitely a human. He's definitely a human. But yeah, so I had to get that.
So that tour, you'll have it'll be you and Scum, and I saw someone else on there. But man, like that's pretty fresh. What can you you're gonna be playing a bunch of new shit on the tour, or do you play specific stuff when you
bunch of the new shit? Definitely expect a bunch of the new shit from the new album, but probably sprinkling in a couple of stuff that I like to perform as well. I love opening the show with Strictly Wicked. That's like my favorite opener. I love doing that song first. So almost certainly Rabbit Hole, I love doing almost every time. That song's just fun for me to do live. Yeah, I'll probably end up doing songs. I usually end up trying to do a couple of different songs from a couple of different projects just to show a couple of different things love, and have people hopefully go out and be like, yo, what was this song from? And then, maybe find that project. Because like you were kind of alluding to earlier, I do try to have every different project have a different sound or a different vibe. And almost sometimes a different story going on with that shit.
Yeah, that's shit. I've seen that you've done a lot of different like themed albums and stuff too. I gotta listen to more of it. I was saying earlier though, I think I don't know when it came out, but someone had sent me this track Carnival from like Wonderland.
Oh yeah.
Someone sent me that.
ICP, that's my Juggalo track right there. So maybe Wonderland is very much an album. Wonderland is like a storytelling album, right? I made an April Fool. Ironically enough, I made an April Fool's joke a few years back where I said I was going to make a Wicked Shit Kids album, and I made it on April Fool's, and I ended up doing that kind of with Wonderland. Wonderland was my actual attempt to make a Wicked Shit Kids album. It's not really a kids album. I just don't swear. at all on the album. There's no explicit language at all on Wonderland. I wanted to prove a point that you don't need to use profanity to draw to create disturbing scenarios or to make people feel uneasy. A lot of the vibes on Wonderland are very uneasy. Obviously, Wonderland is a reference to Alice in Wonderland. I wanted to sort of tell a story about my life. Wonderland is very much about my journey through sobriety in a way, because I am over 2.5 years sober from alcohol. I got sober in COVID from alcohol.
That's what's up, man.
That was a big issue in my life. Alcohol definitely weighed me down for a long fucking time. So I'm very happy to be away from that shit. And that's a big part of Wonderland, but it's also about my journey through life after getting sober. And the carnival is a big part of that, because going to the gathering in 2019, I describe my gathering experiences as being almost religious, man. They're life-changing. They're life-changing experiences for me. Each time I've gone to the gathering, big shit has changed in my life, one way or the other. And that happened again this year. I feel like, and it's I don't know. The carnival is very magical to me, and like that's not just like a gimmick, like because it's affected my life in like really powerful ways. You know what I mean? And ICP, when I was in the deepest, darkest depths of my depression and my alcoholism, there was a couple of artists that really saved my ass. And ICP and Hell's Pit specifically is one of those things that saved my ass. But just ICP in general. Because when I would put that shit on, it would bring me out of that dark place. And like when I would be in my really dark, drunken fucking nights, just like really deep in my depression. Not to bring this stream way the fuck down, but I'm just being real as fuck here. Like XXX Tentacion was another artist, Little Peep, another big artist that helped me. It basically saved my fucking life. And really made me get sober in the long and short of it all. And really still, anytime I'm down, man, I can put on the clowns and that shit will lift me up. And it's really important to me. It's really important to me.
I feel like that's another reason why, like, we reached out to do this podcast, is because I've watched a lot of your shit. I listen to your music here and there, and it's just like at MUJ specifically, like we really get behind just juggalos. You know what I'm saying? Like real fucking juggalo shit. I like we do this shit like, you know, as close to weekly as possible, just to talk juggalo shit. We really don't talk much else than that. So when we do see other people, that I felt like it would just be interesting conversation, and some of the shit that like just even like you telling us about your album. First, let's cheers water to that motherfucker, because Team Water in this bitch. Cheers water to being sober. I know that's a motherfucker, bro. So
honestly, I feel pretty lucky, man. A lot of people have struggled with this shit. I'll be honest. I'll even tell you, I got sober off of microdosing mushrooms. I've only kind of recently been more honest about this, because I do think it's important to talk about it, because it did change my life. Microdosing mushrooms. Took a very small little piece of mushrooms, and I was trying to wean down my drinking. Right, another one of those. I'm only gonna have 4 drinks tonight, and I'm only gonna have 3 drinks tomorrow night. One of those type of things.
That restrictor mentality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I was on the night where I was down to 2 drinks. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I finished my first drink. I took the microdose, and I was sipping my second drink. I was big into vodka and Red Bull, like shitty vodka and Red Bull. That was kind of my my poison, if you will. And so I was sipping that second drink. I think I was watching Joe Bob Briggs. This was very shortly after I had discovered Joe Bob Briggs in the last drive-in, which, by the way, I think Joe Bob Briggs is on right now. But so we're probably going to pop off of the stream after this is done and watch Joe Bob for sure. But anyway, I got into into my head sipping that, you know, as it's the little bit of mushroom started to take effect on my brain. I got really into my head. And I started thinking about looking at the drink and how it's making me feel. And I'm like, I don't even like this. This is making me feel horrible. It's doing horrible things to my fucking life right now. Why am I ever going to do this? Like, why is this night going to be the one where I'm only having 2 drinks? Fuck this. This is the last drink. And that was my last drink, man. And the anxiety was the worst of getting sober. But after I got over that hump of that anxiety, I never really had a fucking craving. I can be around people drinking, and it's no problem for me. It's really no problem. I have no fucking cravings, and I never have had one. So I feel really fucking lucky that I got away from it. And I do equate that to that little tiny bit of psilocybin that I took that changed my brain chemistry just enough
Yeah, they say that for even just like micro dose is enough to. I mean, it's like as close to hitting that reset as you can. You know what I'm saying? And especially, I mean, like some people do it where they needed a little bit more of an extended period of doing that, and for that's happened to you, that's really dope, man. And you are lucky because alcohol is one of those hard things to get off. It's one of those things that you just you can't just be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna quit fucking cold turkey. You know what I'm saying? You really do have to wean yourself off that shit. You know what I'm saying?
And I'll be honest, I had to go. My anxiety after kicking that shit, I had to go and get. I had to go to my doctor one day at work because I was a mess. I was a complete mess, and I had to go and get antidepressant pills for a little while. And I was on antidepressants, but I hated the way that made me feel too. So after I got over that hump, I actually stopped taking my antidepressant pills. Nothing heavy. I forget what it was, but I really did not like the way it made me feel. So I got off of that. I have an emergency stash of Xanax that they gave me from back then that I took like one of, I think you actually see me take 2 of them on the vlog from Juggalo Day that we did, because it was the first time I flew on an airplane and I was so afraid that I took that emergency Xanax. So
I can understand that. You know what I'm saying? I've the only other time I've ever taken a Xanax was on a plane too. So that's the only time I've ever taken.
So because I was really worried about replacing an addiction with another addiction.
Oh yeah, because that happens for sure, man.
And they almost don't care. They will, especially with the way some of these pharmaceutical companies work and shit. They really, and the doctors really will facilitate this shit. They really don't care. I was very insistent on not getting on something that would get me addicted. But even then, they gave me those 5 pills of emergency Xanax. Even then, they were like, here, take this though, just in case.
Well, Xanax are another motherfucker too.
That shit did come in clutch, so I can't talk too much shit.
That's good, man. And like what it seems like you have a lot of creative outlets, and I know for me, it's when to have some kind of creative outlet is super important in any kind of to be able to function, without drugs or alcohol. You know what I'm saying? I always have to keep a creative outlet. I mean, I'm not saying I'm sober now by any means, but I am drinking water only for the show tonight for sure. But
and there's nothing wrong with having a couple of drinks. See, my problem was I couldn't have a couple of drinks.
Yeah,
I would
I
have
get
10
that
shots.
Sure.
I had 10 shots every night, at least every night, and like I would get tanked, bombed, and try to function. And honestly, I was pretty fucking good at it. A lot of people had no idea I was as bad as I was. But I mean, I fucking really was pretty fucking bad. And that's a big thing. My creative outlet, in a weird way, you convince yourself that it's making you better. I need it for my nerves. When the truth of the matter is it made my nerves so much worse, and I'm still trying to work over some of the issues I've created for myself from being an alcoholic. I've created my anxiety is arguably worse because of my drinking. It's only now starting to get under control. But I still have moments where my anxiety is insane. My paranoia specifically gets really bad. And thank God I have people in my life who can pull me back down to earth and talk to me and tell me like, it's not that way. You're seeing it in a fucked up way right now. Cause I will see things. I have a mental illness. I straight up have a mental illness, people will say things to me sometimes that are completely genuinely nice. They mean it as a compliment, and I will take that as an insult. And it's really bad. And I'm very thankful that I'm starting to get over that, but it still happens. And it's destroyed relationships in my life.
Oh, for sure.
We got really fucking deep. This turned into my therapy session again.
I'm glad we can help, dog. I like to talk about it. And I get it, man. I'm sure some of those situations that you were used to going into while drinking then became really hard to go back into.
And that was my point. The long way to come around. I was afraid that it would affect my creativity. And honestly, since then, I realized that I was stifling my own creativity with alcohol. I was definitely drowning it. I wasn't doing YouTube shit like I was now. Certainly not. I would do like a very drunken, lazy stream maybe every once in a while if I feel like it. And that was because of the alcohol.
Oh yeah.
After I got out of that, you get out of the fog. It's like you come out of the fog. I'm sounding really preachy right now, aren't I? Fuck.
No, dude. Honestly, honestly, talking about what you went through is not preachy at all. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're here telling everybody that they need to fucking, change their life dramatically and get off the
And that's my
sauce or
point.
whatever, you know?
If
Yeah.
you don't have a problem, alcohol's fun, man. I had so many great times on alcohol. There's a reason I had convinced myself that it was good when it had been way past the point of good. It hadn't been good for a really long time. And that's just my experience with the shit. I was actually listening to a clip from Joe Rogan's podcast today about the history of alcohol and how intertwined it is with humanity. And in our evolution at this point and shit. It was actually really fascinating. So that there's different ways to look at the poison, as I called it earlier.
No, for sure.
But
Yeah,
I'm gonna end my
it's
preachiness though. I feel like I got way too preachy now, so I'm gonna.
No,
end
it's
that.
all good, dude. I really didn't take that as preachy at all, man. I felt like it was kind of just you explaining your journey, really, at this point, man. And like people could
being real with it.
You didn't tell anybody how they should live,
and I try really hard not to do that
you're
because I'll
telling
be
people
honest.
how you live, and that could be inspirational to somebody else. So I mean, like, and you're not trying to, and I understand that's not what you're trying to do, and you're not trying to like force that down anybody's throat or anything.
No,
but
never.
I feel like you just saying what you've went through and how you're living, that's you, and I feel like that still could be helpful to people down the line.
It could,
you know what I'm saying?
It could resonate with other people watching this.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's why I like to talk about it, because honestly, there's people that I saw in different podcasts that talked about their sobriety that would, I'd be deep into my addiction. I'd be drunk as fuck, honestly, listening like Jake the Snake Roberts. Yeah, I don't know if y'all ever saw The Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts.
For sure.
I watched that movie drunk as fuck, y'all. I watched that so fucking drunk. And the irony of that, I'm watching it drunk as fuck, being like, man, I wish I could do that.
Well, then,
it's weird. That's weird, right? That's weird. That's what I did.
What then? Make the transformation?
Well, just quit boozing like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just do what Jake was doing.
Just
get myself right.
Yeah, watching it.
Because it feels impossible when you're trapped in that shit. It feels like there's no way I could do that. When in reality, anyone can do it. You just have to be ready to do it. You have to be ready to do it.
No, that's why it's not preachy. That shit right there, like, is not saying it's preachy or whatever. Like you said, you're not telling anybody how to fucking live. And I know a lot of people who watch our show party like a motherfucker, and I think everybody who does anything like that at least some point healthily, like you look at yourself and you're like, you notice these things, yeah. And what you say, like that could be influential to somebody. Like this is the first year since I've ever heard of that Sober October shit. This is the first year that I haven't done it.
Sober October. I didn't even.
But I also I don't really drink like that. Like I was even telling Matt Murdis, I do intend on drinking like probably the rest of the weekend. But tonight I was like, I'm not fucking drinking. I work today. I'm like, I don't drink when I get out of work or whatever. But and I really don't do hard drugs. You know what I'm saying? But like during Sober October, I don't mushrooms or anything or drink at all. But this is the first year in a few years that I haven't done it. And I don't do it because I feel like I have this problem with it. I feel like it's like a test, you know what I'm saying? A test of like willpower, like the Bruce Brothers said, it's the fucking, it's that test of fucking fortitude, you know what I'm saying? Like where every once in a while I gotta be like, is this in control of my life or is it not? And then I do this with I do this thing like I don't follow religion or whatever, but I still do a 40-day Lent type of thing where I'll give up something, every year around. My whole family's religious. I don't get down with the whole thing, but when people are doing that, that's like a reminder. Hey, now for 40 days, I'll do something different. Whether it's live a little bit healthier, do some kind of routine to better myself or whatever. And that's also what I do for Sober October though too. But I also don't try to be preachy when I do it. And most of the time when I do it, I don't even tell anybody that I'm doing it. My homies know, and they're like, "Oh, you motherfucker! Well, you're driving us home." So that's usually how it goes. But I usually don't. The thing.
That is the thing about getting sober, man. I definitely am DD like all the time now. But I have no problem with doing that. I really have no problem with being the DD for people if they're drinking and driving, or with the drinking and I'm driving. Eat ass for 40 days straight, Darby said.
No, I have to abstain from eating ass for 40 days straight. I do that, on the reg. So I got to do that. I got to abstain from eating ass. Yeah, for sure. Everybody, I do have your YouTube link in our description. How long have you been on your YouTube channel?
Bro, a long time. Steadily. My YouTube channel, if you go way back to my earliest YouTube, I think my earliest YouTube video is a video of me playing the Stick of Truth, and I found a glitch of Fartman. I called him Cartman farting endlessly, and that's like my first YouTube video from like fucking. It's a long time ago. I've had my YouTube channel so long that I remember when I registered it, like they let me pick the channel name. Like you didn't have like the code or whatever. Like / Humble Among. I remember typing that shit in. But I didn't really do much with it. Like I said, I was an alcoholic, so I really wasn't doing much. I'd maybe upload a music video, maybe do like a weird little a mixtape of old videos that I found from my high school days. You know, just it was like a personal YouTube channel for many years where I would just put random shit up there. And like it's slow. Like the Juggalo stuff really started to change that, man. Like I put Shimmer Forest up. Shimmer Forest is definitely my first Juggalo content on my YouTube channel. And that grew into me just wanting to live stream really bad. Like I said, when I was in my alcoholic days, I would attempt live streams, like either video game streams or botched attempts at a podcast. And I just never felt happy with it, never felt the drive to keep doing it. But after getting sober, ICP started doing these Patreons. The Patreon streams first, right? And I had all these fucking thoughts, man. I would be watching these streams and I would just be like, man, I want to talk about this so bad. I want to just like you guys were saying, you just want to come on here and talk jug shit. Yeah. I had all these fucking thoughts about these streams. So I started making videos where I literally would just that you can go way back and see these are the earliest versions of my Juggalo YouTube content. After
was this like been around COVID or
this is I think the COVID year because they started it's in I think it's right I can't remember what I did first because I didn't start right out of the gate. I think I started in December of that year when it's one of those later batches of Patreon streams.
Patreon shit,
and so I just am just literally talking about what they did.
2019 into 2020.
2020 was COVID year, right?
Yeah.
And that's when they first started doing those Patreons. Was like
that October because they didn't skip Halloween Wicked that year. They skipped.
Yeah, because they did Halloween Wicked in the house.
Yeah, they did it in their house that year. That was the headline of the first Patreon month. So I had all these thoughts though watching it, and like I'm just sitting there torturing my wife at the time, torturing anyone in my life that doesn't want to hear about ICP shit, about all these Juggalo thoughts, and I'm just like I gotta get these fucking out, man. I'm just sitting here. Talking about this shit. So I made these videos and that turned into me making a podcast, which just was me talking about Juggalo shit and interesting things that I would experience in pop culture or just stuff I wanted to talk about. Literally my podcast, it's still this. If you watch my podcast, it's literally stuff that I like. It's literally all just stuff that I like. That's literally, it's very self-serving, but I do it in a way where I hope people like discover something new and fresh. That's the ultimate goal of my podcast. I want people to find a show to go to, find a movie to watch, find a new band maybe they haven't heard of, find a new album they haven't heard of. That's a big goal of mine, is to introduce people to new fresh shit. And that's what I'm trying to focus on more, I think, with my content going forward, is try to introduce people to old I want to do like videos on old rappers from back in the day that I used to fuck with that I feel like people don't talk about anymore. I got just a bunch of shit, man. Lore videos. Anyway.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, I dig that though. And I dig your channel because of that. And I think, people do just like when people just talk genuine shit. And I think like whatever we do on the channel, it's just us talking like, just we're homies who live close to each other. We just talk shit, you know what I'm saying? And that's, I think, the only reason why people watch this at all.
That's why I fuck with your content, because you guys just are real motherfuckers talking jug shit, just juggalos talking jug shit, and you just talk about the shit that you guys like, and that's in your world. I like that. I really fucking like that. You guys are definitely up there with some of my favorite juggalo YouTubers for sure.
We appreciate that for sure, bro. Yeah, because like really, we don't have enough time to talk about the things that we don't like, so really, we just come on here and just talk about the things that we enjoy, and then like it develops another shit. Like we've got things to actually talk about.
Some things we didn't like. We got flags.
Times. Yeah, we don't talk about the things we don't like anymore. I'm really talking about the things that we didn't like would probably perform better. People love to hear about what you don't like, but really we just don't have time for that. We have way too much shit that we do like to talk about. And I think that's what's cool about like some of your videos where you just talk about shit. Like that's the Halloween video, just because it's a current video. But I dig that because I like watching people who don't have the same opinion as me as much as I like watching people who have the same opinion as me. You know
and that's why I knew I had to make that video, because I'm like, I searched on YouTube and I saw literally not a single positive review. I'm like, well, God damn it, I have to fucking do it. I don't see a single one on here. Everyone's just shitting on it. So I'm like, and that was my honest opinion. Like I was sort of baffled after watching it. Like, really, they hated it that much? So I'm like, I got to make a video and talk about this because I have such a wildly different opinion than other motherfuckers on this subject. And I feel like I do have weird opinions on Juggalo shit quite often. So that's definitely one of the reasons I like to share my skewed perspective on this shit.
No, I hear that.
For example, I don't know if y'all saw Necro on No Jumper.
I didn't watch No Jumper. I saw he was on there, but I didn't watch it, so I didn't have time for it.
So I watched it rather obsessively, and one of the next videos I'm dropping is me breaking down Necro on No Jumper.
Right.
And I can't say it's entirely positive. I'm a fan of Necro from back in the day, but Necro's mad problematic in a variety of different ways. And he is not shy about putting that on full fucking display. So yeah, Darby, I'm glad Darby saw it. Necro on No Jumper was wild. There's a lot of fucking crazy shit, and that's one of the next videos. I'm mostly done with it. There's a couple of different little inserts I want to put in where I fucked up information, or I want to create some Necro an old head ass. Oh fucking A. I love that Darby said that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out, man, just to see how wild it was.
So in that
video,
he
was on that. I was actually kind of surprised he was on it, but
me too. I was shocked, dog. I was shocked.
It's like Necro on No Jumper. That seems wild, but
I want to know where that connection came from. Like, what weird coke dealer in LA did Adam 22 talk to? He was like, you got to get this guy on. He's got crazy stuff. Like, okay, whatever. Okay, whatever you say. That's my Adam 22, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that shit out, man, for sure. What do you got coming up outside of this tour? Do you have any projects that are in the works now?
Yeah, so I'm working on my Christmas album, my fourth Christmas album. I have a couple of songs in the cut that didn't make the Halloween tape this year that are probably going to go over into the Christmas album. I have a song called Trash that I did. That's literally about cutting bodies up and putting them in the trash. That's just like a little throwaway song. That's probably going on the Christmas tape, or maybe not. It depends on how much stuff I make. I really, like I was talking about earlier, I really get close to release with some of these songs. I really don't know how many songs will be on the project. I really get close to the deadline. Part of the reason I do these seasonal drops or whatever is to give myself a deadline on purpose. Because then I know, fuck, bro, you really got to do that shit. You really got to make that art, or you're gonna miss it.
Dude, the deadline is so fucking motivating when it's
it is.
Or the 2 weeks of. It's so fucking great. I love having the deadline.
But it makes I feel like it makes time. Like, I'm a big fan of Hunter S. Thompson. Hunter S. Thompson's a big influence of mine as well. Is Andy Kaufman, and he was a man who very much would work under deadlines a lot, but he would skirt them as well. But I definitely learned from reading Hunter S. Thompson the power of a deadline, what it could do to motivate one because I think publishers would definitely use deadlines to motivate Hunter in a way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely motivate him for sure. And you see it in just, a lot of his writings, the shit that he was covering and how they would have to send people out, to check on him when he was on the campaign trail.
Oh, God, the campaign trail shit. Yeah. Holy fuck. They, there's been a couple of decent movies about Hunter S. Thompson, but I feel like there's never been a truly great movie about, Fear and Loathing's the best one, obviously, but there's not been a truly amazingly great movie about Hunter. The documentaries are probably the best because they just show you the real shit.
Where the buffalo roam, that was just too much.
That's pretty cool, but that's very 70s comedy,
Yeah, the more of an extreme character of Hunter S. Thompson than where it was more a comical character.
Yeah. Bill Murray'd it up, Bill Murray playing Hunter.
For sure.
I find it interesting that actors who play Hunter talk about being infected by him afterwards. Like, they can't stop acting like Hunter.
Yeah.
Like, I think Bill Murray says that there's mannerisms from Hunter that still to this day he lapses back into.
I can see
that shit's
for
kind of
sure.
fresh to me. It's like the Joker or something.
Yeah, like playing the Joker.
Yeah, they say that there's Joker mannerisms that were that held on with Heath Ledger. I think he was saying before he passed.
Yeah, man. Thanks for chopping up with us. We have just like the shit that we're going to talk about the rest of the show is really kind of just, stuff that we have going on over the next month and stuff. But I wanted to have you on here and just, talk some shit because I know we'd cross paths at the gathering for a little bit. And, a lot of times at the gathering, that's how it goes. That's why I always say, I respect that you do get the footage and stuff because like, the gathering, man, like you could plan for so much to happen, but like at the gathering just happens. Time just goes, and you got to kind of go with the flow.
Such a perfect way to put it, man.
So even seeing each other and saying, "Oh, we should meet up," or we could do this. That's one thing, and it happening is another thing. So
what I learned this year that I'm really going to take next year because I've fucked up a couple of times doing that. I fucked up with y'all doing that a couple of different times that I saw y'all, and I need to not be worried so much about the destination and focus on the journey, so to speak, and just stop and fucking take that footage while you're there in that moment. Because there's definitely times where I'm like, why the fuck didn't I just do it then and there? Where I was going didn't even end up being that important. That ended up kind of being a bust. I should have just stopped and done that shit then and there.
Sure.
There's definitely
we said about pictures and stuff all the time, and there was like several opportunities where I had to get pictures with people, and I was like, "Oh, well, I'll see him tomorrow. Well, I'll see him tomorrow. Right. I'll see him tomorrow." And then the gathering's fucking over, It's like, fuck. Yeah, and really like us, it'd been cool to do something, but I knew that on the list of people that we have to get on the show, once we started grabbing in some guests again, I was like, man, we gotta get you on so that we can just talk some jug shit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't get invited to be on a lot of Juggalo podcasts, honestly. So I really appreciate it. Because I love talking jug shit with other Juggalos. That's really fucking fun for me, man. We're gonna have Darby and Dev on Sunday. I actually am gonna be doing an interview with Darby and Dev. And I want one of my main goals of that interview is to just kind of jug out. And I want to ask Darby specifically about some old school wicked shit.
Dog, they're fun to jug out with on the show. That's like they're just jugs, you know what I'm saying? So it's just fun to fucking just talk with them, and I think that'll be a good show. I mean, just three.
Well, I know Darby's got some fucking old school knowledge in his brain that I want to just kind of pick his brain on some of that shit and maybe reminisce about horrorcore.com a little bit, just a little bit teaser of some of the shit that I hope to talk about with Darby.
Yeah, that's the shit, man. That's gonna be a good one. You guys make sure, like I said, I threw your link in the description for this.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure most of the people in the chat are already subscribed to your channel, and if not, they should be.
Yeah, sure. I definitely was sharing this shit out. Definitely see a lot of familiar names from my channel up in this bitch.
Oh, yeah,
that's a little bubble the rapper. Emily always in this bitch, obviously. Darby pulling up too. Yeah, Darby pulling up to my streams more. That's really dope to see. I love that. Obviously, Darby's on your shit like all the fucking time, but I've been seeing Darby in my stream some more, so that's really fucking dope to see.
Shit, man. Hey, because that's like Darby and Dev and shit, man. They support the fuck out of jug culture though too. So it's not like they're just like fucking like cashing out on the jug culture. They are like fully representative and supportive of the jug culture. And when you have Dev on your show, or you have Darby on your show and Dev on your show on Sunday, and you dive into that fucking encyclopedia of the wicked shit, you're gonna fucking it's no doubt about it, man. These motherfuckers are for the culture, by the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell that like Darby if you listen to Darby shit, you can tell he's a student of this wicked shit.
Oh, facts. So he's a horror student too. I love the bar he did about the Toxic Avenger, the mop your bitch ass up like the talk. Honestly, that Darby bar, I keep going back to that fucking bar, and it made me watch the Toxic Avenger this past month. It made me really want to go and watch just to see the fucking Toxic Avenger mop a bitch ass up real quick.
Well, back when whatever track it is on Gully, and he's talking about Class of Nukem High, I getting the Trauma streaming service for like a month just so that I could binge fucking Class of Nukem High because I hadn't seen it in so long. And I was like, oh shit! I was like, yo, this is so dope. And like, I just like picture Darby somewhere. And he's got like all of his like Trauma references and then just has it all fucking written down and then goes off and it's like, yo, this motherfucker is an encyclopedia. It's dope.
Yo, that's so fresh. I love that it happened to you too, but with a different movie and a different line.
Yeah, straight up, man. Yeah, it's fresh as fuck. yeah, that's gonna be a good show. So you guys check that shit out. That's some straight fucking jug shit.
Yeah, I'm not even really promoting it. I'm gonna kind of try to just a lot of my streams I like to just spring on people like very, very surprised, because one of the things with my streams, I wanted it to feel like a pirate radio station, because I felt like there was a missed opportunity with so many streams where it's very planned out, very promoted, and like I felt like there's a power in like the unexpected nature of like, fuck it, we're going live, you know, like the stupid Bill O'Reilly meme. So that's what I try to do with a lot of my shit.
Is important these days, but sometimes you like for stuff like this, really like if you promote it for a fucking week, no one's gonna tune in on Saturday because they've seen you promoting it already and then think it already happened most of the time, you know.
And
like,
I think
so usually for these, we usually drop like the Wednesday or something. Yeah.
There's definitely something to that, because I almost apply that logic to the music stuff too, because I feel like if you over promote a project before it drops, there's a danger of people being like, oh, I seen that cover a million times, I ain't clicking that link.
Just like
as long as you're doing like
a cat on a string, you know, if you dangle that shit and then that cat grabs that string, how long does it take for that shit to lose interest in it? Like 3 seconds.
That's the thing too with like holding attention span in this day and age. Like if you see if as long as you're like doing different things to promote your album, but if it's just like sharing the flyer fucking, you know, every week, if you promoted that shit in the beginning of the month, I might think that already came out, you know what I'm saying? And then by the time it comes out, you don't know, you know. It's like I feel like that happens a lot.
One of the things I used to do actually with a couple of my drops, I've kind of moved away from doing this. I used to not show my album covers until the day of release. I used to straight up just kind of spring it and be it like, yo, here it is. Here's the visual. You can see what the album cover is now. Click on it. You can go hear it. I've kind of moved away from that.
Is cool. Yeah.
I kind of have moved away from that a little bit more, because I do understand the power of like, yo, this is coming, like, and the power of the opposite almost. This image, look at this image. What do you think this could mean? So that's almost what I kind of did with the cover this year. I like, look at this image. What do you think this could mean? But yeah, anyway, I don't know where I was going. I think I was going somewhere different with that, but I got derailed with that shit.
That's all good, man. And I think that just goes to show the attention span that the fucking world has now. So that's why it's either, if you're going to do it a lot, it's got to be creative, and or you just like, that's why a lot of people just drop albums without any promotion behind it. Because if it's good, it's gonna fucking play. If people are into
shock value also, sells as well.
Yeah, straight up. And surprises are fucking great. You know, when people just drop something, sometimes I feel like it does really good because of that.
And Strife actually, we have a music video coming out for "The Wicked Shit Is Dead" that Strife is working on right now. Strife, when he first heard that song, right on the money, he very, very intuitively said, something about the title. He was like, I think he was like, what the fuck is this? If this is some head ass shit, I'm gonna make you do a different song. And that song very much is titled in on purpose to make people go like, what the fuck? The Wicked Shit, almost like on some troll shit to make people think that I'm gonna say the wicked shit is dead. But if you listen to the song, I'm saying it's not dead, and it's never gonna die, on some Esham shit.
No, I think that's shout out. Sure.
I do shout out Esham in several ways on the album. I specifically name drop Nadas. I say Nation Ahead of Time and Space in Wicked Shit Is Dead. And the second song on Halloween Tape 5 is an intro, or at least I have it in parentheses intro, like the Boogeyman intro from Judgment Day / Judgment Night. I guess Judgment Day, really. But yeah, Esham, a very important part to the Wicked Shit that I feel like is not credited enough, maybe. At least these days, I feel like he used to be. I feel like people kind of sleep on Esham sometimes these days. But I love Esham. Esham's like a fucking big fucking influence on me, man. Acid rap. The idea of acid rap is still a fascinating concept that I feel like is only just been explored just a little bit. And I feel like there's so much more shit you can do with the concept of acid rap. And honestly, that's some of the shit that I do. Wonderland, in a lot of ways, is acid rap. Talking about LSD now, literally LSD rap.
I need to go back and listen to all that. Like I said, I'm not sure if someone who watches the show and they submitted it, or we're talking about submitting it to our Trash Fire show, and they're like, oh, you should check that. And I heard that track. I think that track's really dope, though. But that's probably one of the first actual tracks I heard from you. And then shortly after that, I think the April Fool's tape. I heard all
Yep.
that though with the Shaggy.
With Shaggy,
produce and, that shit's dope.
Shouts out to Shaggy the Airhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think
was
Shaggy
dope.
was participating in Sober October. I don't know if he's still on that wave,
Really?
but I think he was on Sober October tip for a little bit.
Yeah, that's the shit, bro. I mean, it's fun to do. Like I said, like it's just like it's a test. You know, can you do it? Can you push yourself to that? I like to give up things all the time. If I feel like anything's like fucking, I'm addicted to it or I depend on it too much, then even these Red Bulls, man, it's like my really like. That's the poison.
So
But I only drink those Red Bulls like if
that
I'm
one. He's like, I'm about to throw that one away.
Believe it, yeah, I didn't even finish it because I'm not gonna fucking sleep now tonight because of drinking that. But I had to do it. I mean, I worked today. I had to fucking come and still fucking do the show and have a good conversation and shit. Which I feel like it was, bro. And again, man, thank you for coming on here.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. This is a great talk, man. We didn't even really get into the jug shit, and we on an hour and 40 minutes. Like we didn't get into like news segments or anything.
Straight up, bro. We really didn't, and it was cool. Like I like these conversations, and I like when they do kind of go organically. So whatever, like when you were saying about if you felt preachy at every word in that part, I think that was like probably one of the funner parts of that.
Okay, see, that's my self-conscious.
Yeah, don't worry, dog. It was still.
I get self-conscious about that shit because I do feel like motherfuckers are looking at me like, hey, here he goes again with that shit.
No, it's all good, dude. I feel like some people who did hear it, if they've never heard you speak that way before, then man, that's like
President Murderous approves that message.
Hey, all right.
It's uplifting and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's some super uplifting shit. If some
that's
people
good to hear, actually.
Some people need to see that as if they can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you don't mind, we're going to talk some Juggalo news and shit before we do end up getting out of here. We have a few things.
I can hang out for a little bit longer.
What's Joe Bob playing tonight?
I don't know. See, that's the fresh thing about the last drive-in. He doesn't. It's a double feature when he does it, and he doesn't announce what the movies are until he just like the show starts, and then you're watching it, and then he kind of starts talking about the movies. So the first movie's definitely on. I have no idea what it is. I don't know if anyone else is watching it in the chat. Probably not, but I at least here's what's fresh. I can always go back and rewatch the shit. That's just
is it only on Shudder now?
And there's 2 movies. Yeah, it's only on Shudder. And there's 2 movies, so there's still a second movie coming on tonight, probably around midnight. That we're gonna end up watching.
It's
Elvira. Elvira's on that shit tonight, so I am an Elvira mark. I don't know if you can see this. Let me see. I don't know if you can see that right. Yeah, there's Elvira's blade. I'm like a huge Elvira mark. Elvira's like my first crush from when I was a kid.
I think it was a lot of.
I was gonna say who? Shit.
Well then we do have you here. It is spooky season. It is October. You know what I'm saying? It's always spooky season though with horror movies anyway. But so we talked about Halloween Ends and Hellraiser. Coming up this week though, we will be in West Chicago, Illinois for the Wicked Warlords Tour, October 27th at the West Chicago Social Club with our homies Razor. If you need tickets right now, we still have like a very few amongst like floating around that we could plug you in. When we say fee-free tickets, it means that you just don't have to pay into the shipping and no matter what, even if you're going to pick it up at the box office, they charge you a fee to even pick it up at the box office. They charge you tax to order online. Because we have the plug with Razor and because we have a plug with the venue, you can get the tickets from us for $15 flat. None of that fucking tax shit or whatever. Save you some dollars so you can get something to drink or buy yourself some gas because it's pretty expensive, especially in Illinois.
Right.
But we'll be out there for sure, fucking around with that. I'm super hyped, man. I love when Ouija comes to West Chicago. I love when Ouija's on tour all together. And to see Hex on this one then too, man, it's going to be super fresh. So I'm super hyped for that. Speaking of Hex, I'm going to drop this little video right here because we will also be pulling the fuck up in Louisville, Kentucky on November 5th. I will be DJing and co-hosting with the homie Just Dave. Check out this message from the homie Hex.
November 5th, Louisville, Kentucky. Wicked Warlords Tour stopping at the WWME Music Hall. Shout out to Just Dave, Dead Daddy Productions. It's going to be a motherfucking massacre. Real shit. Shout out to all the juggalos. Whoop, whoop. It's going up. Real shit. November 5th, don't forget. Get tickets right now. If it ain't already sold out, you know what it is. Wicked Warlords Tour. East side.
Next is saying if it isn't already sold out, because the WME theater is a very small theater. The spot that this show is going down in will be like a dope spot to see this tour, because it's going to be fucking small.
Intimate.
So no matter what,
very intimate.
it's going to be, nice and fucking, you'll feel the energy in there. There'll be no fucking empty space throughout it.
It's
You know what I'm saying?
private.
Yeah, so it's going to be super fresh. I mean, not private. It's a fucking open place or whatever, but it'll feel a nice and intimate setting for sure. I haven't seen the place, but I was talking to the dude, Just Dave, about it, and the place sounds fresh as fuck. Well, like, a lot of times people say it's going to sell out to make it sell tickets. The fact that this place is small, I think that there's a good and it's a Saturday, there's a probability that it will sell out. WME Theater going down. Shout out Just Dave for fucking booking me up to come DJ this shit. I met the homie at like.
Shouts out Worm. Shouts out. I see Worm.
Shout out, yeah. Worm's gonna be on that shit too, so that's pretty wild. We fuck with Worm. That's just gonna be wild though. I met Just Dave, I think, on the Young Snuffleupagus tour out in when we were out in Cleveland or whatever, and we linked up from there. And I didn't really talk to the homie, but he reached out to see if I would DJ this show, and we worked it out. I mean, because Louisville's like fucking 5 or 6 hours from us, but we're pulling the fuck up night before Ouija's birthday. We want to show out and fucking come have a good time. So again, November 5th also we'll be out there. So if you guys are in Louisville area, come say what's up. We're going to be kicking around the next day then too, a little bit then. But that's November 5th going down. Also in November, we get some new Ouija Max shit. Problem Children was just announced with Ricky Hill. So this is going to be super fire. When they announce this, Jiggy Fresh messages me. He's like, did you know that Ricky Hill's Tommy Hilfiger's son? And I was like, oh shit. It was just some funny ass shit that we were talking about. But Ricky Hill's fire though too. So peep that shit out. Merch bundles online right now. The black and red hoodie is super gas.
Real. I'm looking at that.
I can't wear anywhere like really that I go DJ at though. So I'll wear it only at Juggalo events, but a lot of the places that I pull up on, I can't be walking around with a fucking red and black hoodie with pitchforks and that whatever. No one's even gonna know what the hell N is shit. So I'm just gonna get fucking rolled on for it. But hey, this shit's gas as fuck. Pick it up right now at WouijaMaxShop.com. There's like, as you know, whenever you drop shit, it's all kinds of bundles. So there's CDs, shirts and CDs and hoodies, bandanas, all that other good shit available. WouijaMaxShop.com. This drops November 11th, 11/11/22. 11/11/11 was the first rave that I had got booked at after I got back from Europe. 11/11/11, I played at this place called One Wish. And I played in a basement. I was the first DJ, and nobody but my homies were there. And it sucked dick, but it was so fresh that I did it. I played like I normally would, a fresh ass set. So to think about that, just like I'd never really even think about that shit too often. And then when I saw that date, I was like, oh shit, 11/11/22 made me think back to where I was 11/11/11, and
it's been
that
11
shit was
years.
fresh. Yeah, and like
shit.
From playing in that fucking basement and DJing some house music in this basement 11 years ago to some of the stages that I've got to play on in that is pretty fresh. And shout out to Ouija for making me think about that by the date of this fucking record. So that's the shit, you know what I'm saying?
That's a little bit of carnival magic, I feel like. That
Straight up, dog. It really is, bro. When I thought about it, I was like, man, that's
Done.
fresh as fuck. And then this month I'll DJ on two as sound support on 2 spots of this Ouija tour leading up to that 11/11/11 shit here, 11/11/22 shit, which I think is fresh as fuck. Some juggling
To
shit.
be part of that, that's just another thing,
The
be
carnival
part of the
provides.
Yeah.
That shit was fresh. So that's coming out. Get your
That's
pre-orders in now. And even if the merch ain't for Yakima Juggalo, he loves the music. So you know what I'm saying? But yeah, get that shit. Shout out Yakima Juggalo. I love that motherfucker. I got underneath this green screen here, there's a nice picture that Yakima had sent.
Speaking of Ouija's merch, I see you're wearing one of the Never Sleep shirts. That's one of the fucking merch drops that I slept on that I regret the most. Is all those horror shirts he put out.
Dude, they were so fucking fresh. I think I only missed 2 of them, and I kicked myself in the ass for that.
I fucked up so bad. I for some reason was just not feeling them when they first came out. Now I look like I'm looking at yours. I'm like, motherfucker, I fucked up so bad because every time I see one, I'm like, why didn't you jump all over those?
This one is one of the coolest designs too, and one of the most intricate designs. But I think I missed like the Friday the 17th, and I missed the Chucky one. But otherwise, I got at least something of all of them. Yeah.
Because every time I see one, like I saw a couple at the gathering, right? Like, and like there's some people walking around and shit, and I'm like, motherfucker, that shit looks so fresh in person. What's wrong with me? Like,
and then I knew I was like, I'm gonna talk some Hellraiser shit tonight, so we throw on the Ouija Hellraiser shit. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, yeah, man. So we'll see that Ouija shit next Sunday. Like we said in the beginning of this episode, that this is probably our last full episode until the mid-November. That's because this next weekend we'll be going to Bloody Sunday on Sunday, so we probably won't do anything the whole weekend. And then the following Saturday, we'll be in Louisville for the Wicked Warlords Tour Part 2. So probably won't be another full web show until then, but there will be multiple weekly Wicked road shows. So there'll be a road show.
Reels
and like lives and all that shit. We'll be in Detroit like all day on Bloody Sunday. We'll be out there early. We have the late show tickets, so we'll be out there early. We're gonna go out there and get some Coney dogs and all that other good shit. So we'll be streaming live from Clark Park, just to kind of talk some shit, you know. But other than that, like this is probably the last like full weekly web show until then. It'll be about 3 weeks then until the next one, which really like isn't too crazy around here, but you know what I'm saying? We've been kind of consistent over since the gathering. We've tried to do it as consistent as possible, and we've had some pretty dope guests in that time. Zab, fucking Hex, Humble Among. So thank everybody who has came on the show and shit in that time. We appreciate it.
I mean, I'm honored to be among that company. Honestly, that's like it blows my mind that I'm like in the very small position I am in this community, man. Like I'm very grateful to have this very small position that I do have in this community. It's fucking awesome to me. Every day I'm very grateful of it. Like
again, but that is also why we why we fuck with Juggalos, and I feel like it comes back to us. You know what I'm saying? Like we support people who are really out there doing it and doing something beneficial to the culture, and I feel like because we do that, the carnival provides for us. You know what I'm saying? Like TeamMUJ's whole thing is like to help people that we know who are like really out there doing this shit, and they're doing it for the culture, not for the fucking clout or whatever. We try to put them on. We don't get invited on a lot of podcasts. We were for a while, and we were trying to go on as many as we could. Shout out Speak of Cloud, and we were doing those other like we did that This Sucks show all the time, but I don't even know if they do a lot of shows anymore. But we don't get on a lot of shows, and I feel like it's because sometimes our opinions. We are loud about our opinions, and nobody likes some of the things
I like
we
that.
have opinions about, you know.
Well, I'm definitely trying to do more interviews and more panel streams. I unfortunately stopped doing that because I had a shitty laptop that just started really shit in the bed. I have a much better laptop that is great. Like honestly, I haven't had any issues with it. So now that I have that, I'm actually going to start doing more streams. That's actually the Darby and Dev is like the first interview I've done in shit. I think the last interview I did wasn't even on my channel. I think I did an interview. I helped out a homie Gather.network on his channel. The last interview I did. It's been a very long time, but I'm definitely trying to get back into that because I love doing interviews. I think interviews is really fun, and if I have opportunities to interview a couple of the people in this culture and just like you said, just like show off cool shit. To me, that's like one of the most important. Like I said, like the reason I do my show is I want people to find cool shit. Like that's one of the most important things to me with doing my show. So that's definitely a really dope way of showing off cool shit, or just even like a different aspect of something. Like having, I guess, me on your show talking about my sobriety and shit. That's something I don't always talk about on my show, but yeah, it's just like a different aspect of it. I'm running off.
And for us, that's some new shit, man. Like, because really, like I listen to like long form podcast shit, and so I also like having those conversations, and when they can develop naturally. Like I wrote like 4 things to talk to you about. So whatever we talk about is just how I wanted it to go. You know what I'm saying, or how it should go. well, like we're juggalos and we're fucking, you know, we don't necessarily need the structure. Once we get to talking, we'll talk. I really wanted it to go any way that it was going to go. I mean, besides the things that I wanted to know about you, and I know that you have coming up to get those out there and get those promoted, but I also wanted to just like, you know, talk with you. I don't know you. This is how really like how we do on these shows. This is how we became tight with Dev and Darby and shit. Like during the pandemic, we had them on our show a lot, and then like by the time that we actually met each other in person, it did seem like we had already fucking talked about everything. You know? So we were already so tight and could just like vibe out. The internet's a great tool for that. And when we are interested in somebody and we talk about it, like, hey, we're going to invite this person on the show. What do you think? And everyone's like, yeah, you know, blah, blah. And that's when we usually try to get a list together so that we could start inviting people so we could get it lined up. And you were like top of the list since the gathering. Like, hey, this is someone that we know, like, not saying like attainable, but we know someone who would probably come onto the show and, you know, it would be awesome to talk to. And it really, like, I don't want you to doubt anything that you talked about. I think it was super fresh.
No.
And I think people that talked about it. I think
I just get in my own head sometimes.
No, and I think that's how all of us are.
You ain't the only one, bro.
You know, one of the things I want to try to do is bring more of the Juggalo YouTube community together too, because I feel like it is oddly fractured in weird ways. And
we've seen that on Carnival Spirits. We fuck with Carnival Spirits heavy as fuck. Beastmaster has like looked out with us for the beginning, and like I saw you on his show then too, and that's when I knew I was like, you kind of remind me of Beastmaster and some of the way you talked about some of the things, and I was like, oh, like when seeing you guys talk was cool, and I was like, yeah, this. And then, you know, the gathering went by and all that, and I was like, yeah, but this is someone that we need to get on the show. I know that we could have a conversation with, and like some people that we've had on the show, I'm like, I've been nervous as fuck to talk to you, bro. Like even even like having like when we had Zab on, we had that shit planned for like 2 weeks, and like the day before, I got like super fucking nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like I mark out like we're jugs first, we're fans first. So like when I talk like when I gave Dev and Darby a ride to the airport recently, I was like having to switch songs because most of the songs of my favorites are their songs. So it's like you know. So when I'm like getting ready to talk to Zab about shit, like I'm like, yo, like. I'm fucking Indiana. I'm an Indiana Juggalo, dog. You're from like the West Coast, and you're making these fresh ass videos with fucking Ouija and fucking Bad Child and all these people, and I'm like, yo, so now I gotta conversate with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, should I hit you with the Joe Rogan? You ever tried DMT? Like, I don't know where to take. Sometimes I don't know where to take these conversations, and when they do go, as cool it is.
On a religious trip, man.
Exactly. So. I feel like those types of when the conversation does just go, especially when I'm like nervous about the shit, like it's cool as fuck because like I don't know, we're just.
It turned out so shit. It was so organic though because you even opened with the ghost thing. I'm like, oh fuck, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. I knew right off the bat this is gonna be fucking fantastic because I was gonna be able to jump in and talk about some paranormal shit. Like this is a great. This has been fucking fun, man. We're at 2 hours now. This has been a great. This has been a great interview.
That was it.
Hell yeah, man! And I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. And I thought it was weird too. Starting like I was like, we're gonna bring him in after this ghost shit. But I know you're into that type of shit.
I was like, man, we gotta ask Humble's opinion on this shit.
Hell yeah! And I wanted to have it out there in the beginning so that everyone could kind of just like talk about it or whatever. And it was dope as fuck. And for real, man, I feel like this was a good shit. And I wanted to talk about this Lazy and Crazy drop then too before we get out of here. Brand new Lazy and Crazy drop. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll show you a little sneaky peek.
Flash pages, right?
Oh yeah, the flash pages, and then he has all those designs and on some cool ass merch. These flash pages, man, like seriously, I'm still making this plan. Me and Jiggy gonna drive out to fucking get tatted up by Shaggy. I got the last coach jacket he did like this.
About to jump up there with that.
And the inside's super fresh. The back, like the designs on it's dope as fuck. And yeah, the flash sheets here. So
I love that jacket with the print on the inside. That's so fresh.
Yeah, I got the last one he did with like the mushroom characters and shit on it. It's super fresh, dude. Like the quality on it's fantastic, bro. So I definitely, if anyone's like considering getting one of those jackets, I would totally fucking get it. It's worth it. The inside's beautiful. Like literally every time that I've worn that jacket out, and I don't wear it all the time because it's one of those like, you know, specialty things, but every time that I've worn it, somebody's been like, yo, where'd you get that jacket? It's just like, it's mad fresh, you know, the back's cool as fuck. I don't wear a lot of colorful shit, but it has just enough fucking of the colorful shit on it for me to get really into. So peep that order. As you know, those Lazy and Crazy drops are limited time. Grab it while you can because that shit will probably be gone by the time the weekend's out. But yeah, that's a plan, man. I really want to get out there and get tattooed by him. Like that would be mad fresh, you know.
Same, man. That's definitely a goal of mine as well. I want to get just something from him. Like that would just be so fucking cool. And be like, yeah, see, I got a fucking Shaggy the Airhead tattoo. I think that's gonna be like a Juggalo badge of honor. I got a
Straight
Shaggy
up,
the
it
Airhead.
is, bro. I mean, like it really is right now, and I
Hey,
only know so many people who have them.
shit.
And I really want one. I want one of his
Me too.
and some other shit that he's got that I really want.
And I specifically want to make the trek to the Spider's Web to do it. I specifically
Yeah,
do
and
want to go out there.
me and Jiggy been looking up because really to fly to Idaho Falls is super inconvenient, and the
destination.
flights from
There's
like
6
Chicago are like $1,000 every time that I look it up. You know, just
Mhm.
because like where Idaho Falls is inconvenient. So at first I was like, well, we could drive to Boise or fly to Boise and then rent a car from Boise and then drive over. So that might be the better plan. Because if not, it's a fucking 30-hour drive, which would make some really cool content. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll stop at like every fucking some kind of chain or something on the way out there or
10-hour
whatever.
drive, every other 10-hour drive or some shit.
Yeah, 10 for 10. Everyone drive, and then we just record their 10-hour drive on that bitch. But I don't know. It'd be a motherfucker.
That'd be
30 hours.
But it'd be worth it, dog. It'd be fucking super worth it to have
That'd be
some
like the
Yeah.
Oregon Trail type shit.
straight up dog. We'll see we'd see the whole Oregon Trail out there. I whole other story, and I'm not going into it, but I got dysentery at the 17th annual gathering of the Juggalos, and everyone was talking shit about, oh, Bobby Blaze is staying at a hotel. What'd you do? Take a helicopter here? Bitch, my fucking hotel was nasty as fuck that year, so I got dysentery from showering that year, and I never got sick at any other gathering. That's a whole other story. You can go back and look at that on other web shows, but that was pretty rough.
I want to find the dysentery saga now.
Dog, I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't fucking 2016 and there was, ways to treat my illness, I would have been buried along the Oregon Trail. Bobby Blaze has died of dysentery with a little 8-bit graphic on the screen for you guys. That's how it went down. Hell yeah, man. Other thing too, man, there's a ICP pumpkin carving contest going on right now for all you creative pumpkin ninjas. I know that Baby Ghoul Vinyl was sending some shit in. Her pumpkin looked fresh as fuck. So check that shit out.
Fuck yeah.
Just hashtag HalloWicked 2022. It's gonna be real hard to fucking filter that out. They should at least HalloWicked 2022 pumpkins or some shit to make it a little less, because after
We're gonna
that
go
weekend,
through all the
there's gonna
show
be
pics.
seriously so many pictures after that weekend. That's gonna be dope. Hey, and that weekend the new Darby O'Trill does come out on Halloween. We can't go over this. I know we've already talked a lot about Darby and shit, but we will always talk about Darby. But the Tomb is dropping on Halloween. If you pre-ordered it, it's shipping now, so you should have it before Halloween. It's shipping now. Super excited for this shit. We were talking about deadlines earlier in the show. I went to the wire on my parts that I contributed to the Tomb, and it was,
You did some cuts on there again?
yeah,
Hell
some
yeah,
cuts
that's
and some
fresh.
sample work and shit.
That's
So
dope.
check it out. I'm gonna run the little promo for that. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. that was the track list though, right? Yeah, that's the track list. Shout out to Scotty Balls on that intro, dog. Wait till you guys hear the intro
man.
of fucking the Tomb. It is fucking so good.
Down forever, I'm forever down. Down forever, I'm forever down. With that swing, swing, chop, chop, swing, 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 chop, chop, swing, swing. Down forever, I'm forever down. Down forever.
Yeah.
If you guys were at the fucking Junta show, or you guys seen any of the streams that we did, Darby played a lot of that. The Tomb, I think, is mad fresh. It's got some really dark, heavy, wicked shit vibes. The sample work on it's super fresh. The beats on it are cold. The couple of features. There's a track.
Man.
Because you guys have seen the fucking track list or whatever, so I'm not spoiling anything about the track list. But there's a track with Shaggy the Airhead and Strife.
Yeah.
That is just so fucking good. So fucking good. Like Strife just fucking, it's so nice, and just the way it's set up, and it is so fucking good. There's a lot of fire on there. I'm really excited for you guys to peep that. This other, yeah. Wait till you guys hear that fucking Scotty Balls intro. Oh man, it reminds me of some like old school Jug shit. Dog. It's so fucking
Darby
gas.
said they did it to be like an ICP intro or something, right? Like some old school
dude,
shit.
it's so fucking
Yeah,
good,
I'm
dude.
excited to hear that.
Because I heard it. I heard just Scotty's vocals before I heard the beat and stuff, and I was like, oh man. And then when Dev sent me it all together, I was like, holy shit! Like just it sounds so good, and like it
So-
bumps. The bass is nice. Oh.
Can I ask you a question? Did you do the samples, like when you say sample work, like the samples of like Violent J talking about the Wicked shit and stuff?
No,
like,
that's all Dev on
Dev
that
put
shit.
those on there?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, on that new like that amputate shit.
Yeah, the amputate shit, and then I think there's the orange bloodstains joint that I think.
Oh, that orange bloodstains joint. Me and Dev tag team on that. So there's like I had some preacher vocals into it, or some preacher samples, and he added like the ICP Wicked shit samples into it.
Word.
So like we tag that one like we tag team heavy on. Where like I do cuts I think on the hook, and he does cuts throughout the verse. That's one of my favorites on that motherfucker too.
Yeah, I heard that on Bandcamp. I think that's the song he said as the preview song, so you can actually hear that whole song on Bandcamp, and that shit's fire. That shit's fire. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, man, that's coming out on Halloween, streaming sources. But if you pre-ordered it, like I said, shipping. I think everyone was saying they got their emails today. I got mine 2 weeks ago. No, I'm just bullshit. I got my email today too, motherfucker. So, but yeah, that shit. I'm hyped for that. They'll be dope as fuck to bump coming back from the Hallow Wicked activities, you know what I'm saying? Right. So if you get it before, you get to bump that shit all in
going into weekend. Detroit.
I'm sure that shit will be blasting through the stay-in out in Detroit where all the jugs will be staying. So I hope everyone has a good time. We'll be seeing you guys again, man. If the Wicked Warlords Tour is coming to your area, make sure you hit that shit up and go represent. TeamMUJ's fucking and Hex and Chunk on that shit. It's some straight 17 and Beeman type shit. Chunk always kills it during those shows. It's super fresh to see Hex, especially with, you know, the Demon season and this new I'm going to play that video then too, like as our closeout shit. Or not the video, not the Demon season video, but I am going to play the track Talking to the Moon again.
Yo, that shit is so gas. That shit is so gas.
If modern technology didn't sell you overpriced stuff without CD drives or whatever, we would be playing the other track on there because Jiggy was going to drop it off and I was going to play the CD on here. But my super expensive laptop doesn't have a CD drive in it, you know what I'm saying? So
I still got my MacBook. I got my MacBook from like 10 years ago solely because it has a CD drive, and I still
I have a shitty laptop underneath there that barely works on it to like do that. And like even Darby had asked me to put some a project of his that I had on CD on a line, and it took like a full day for the CD to rip onto the computer. I was like, what the? And like the whole night I could hear it. Just like struggling inside that shit. I was
like it's somehow longer than the actual audio of the CD.
Yeah, fucking 3 days longer. It was ridiculous.
That's wild.
By the time that I got it done, I was like, yo, bro, I just got that shit. I can upload it now. He's like, hey, well, let's look and have it. I actually had it uploaded somewhere else. So I was like, oh, well, that's fine. But yeah, man, that's just happening soon to get you through the meantime right now. Him and Saw have that track out called Why Does It Smell Like Somebody Died in Here? Oh, wait. That's streaming everywhere. That's a Jigsaw beat also. That's what's
I listened to that actually right before the stream as well. And I think there's some pretty obvious Dead Body Man references, I guess you could say, in the track. I think there's some Dead Body Man samples in that shit too. Obviously the intro, but I think some elements of the beat have some Dead Body Man shit in there as well.
And Darby's like his verse then too has that shit in there, man. That's a dope track.
Shouts out to the cowbells in that fucking song as well. Cowbells, I think.
Cowbell, man. Cowbell. Hey, we need more cowbell.
I think I like that 808 cowbell a lot. I'm really discovering that about myself.
Hell yeah, man. Well, yeah, dude. Again, thank you for fucking coming on the show and chopping it up with us. Before we get out of here, where should they find you? I mean, I do have your YouTube link, and we were running the IG across the screen.
Yeah, thank you. I noticed that. Thank you, by the way. Humble Among on everything, all the social media gimmicks. Humble Among on YouTube, obviously. Do a lot of YouTube content, Juggalo YouTube content. Trying to branch out and do some more lore content, ICP lore, and probably like weird underground rap lore. You're probably going to see from me a little bit.
I like the iceberg video. Iceberg video. So like, I don't know if you know, we did this convention like 2 weeks ago. The Ramen Con. Yeah. Next year our panel will be what is a Juggalo, and it's basically going to be a full like 90s cup because the theme next year is 90s. So we're gonna do like the Juggalo iceberg, but basically of the 90s leading up until
I'm so excited.
like the 2000s.
That's fresh.
Yeah, so it's gonna. Yeah, we're gonna cover all that shit. We really want to do like a Juggalo 101 intro course to Juggalos, but now doing this thing 2 years in a row, we realize that they know who Juggalos are. So now we're just gonna kind of this year it'll be, or next year it'll be ICP through the 90s. It's gonna be our convention.
That sounds dope as shit. Are you guys gonna be recording that or streaming that in some way?
That'll be streamed, streamed and recorded for sure. Yeah, so that's something that we're this year. Like we got the panel thrown on a super last minute, and we just kind of used the panel as like an introduction to us. Small Juggalo catch up, and then we like just talked about the event that we were going to do that night. Because then later on that night we had the show with Dev, Darby, and Jigsaw and stuff.
Yeah, that looked dope. You guys were doing like almost like a mix, like you would have different artists coming up and performing like a song, and then have a different artist come up type of thing. I thought that was really
so it was
dope.
Like Jigsaw and Darby then were our two rappers, and then me and Dev were on our DJ equipment. So then I'd play some music. Then bring out Jigsaw. Jigsaw would play a couple of tracks. Then Dev would take over, play a couple of tracks, and then bring Darby out, and we just keep that cycle going the whole night.
I like that because it's like not it feels more casual or something. You know, it feels like a party.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to feel like. It was supposed to be like a party. You know what I'm saying? Just keep everyone focused there. Play all kinds of different type of music, but like you were never going to get bored of hearing one type of thing because then it was going to change. It's also it's like we were talking earlier. The attention spans isn't what it used to be. So a lot of times people get bored just watching a rapper on stage for 40 minutes. So this way we figured out how to cycle it between like playing off the DJ, playing off the crowd and stuff. That's
smart. That's smart.
Oh yeah. But yeah, man, thank you again. And I hope everyone looks you up. Any of your people who did come here and watch the show, I hope you guys, subscribe and stick around for our freebie.
Yeah, make sure you give these guys a fucking subscribe. Any of my viewers or whatever the fuck that are over here, please give these guys a subscribe. These guys are the shit. This is definitely a YouTube channel I fuck with real heavy.
Yeah, dog. We appreciate that for sure, man. And yeah, man, we look forward to chopping it up again. Maybe because we usually do a end of the year Christmas special, and since you're gonna be dropping a Christmas tape, maybe we'll talk Christmas shit.
Yeah, I would love that, and wrap up the year kind of gimmick or something.
Yeah. Usually every year, like right around New Year, we do like a full on like recap. We just talk about our highlights of the year, bring our favorite guests in and shit.
And I probably will be dropping my Gathering documentary around that time too, so that we can talk a little bit about that. I have 8 hours of Gathering footage to sift through. It's gonna be fucking a nightmare.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man, we look forward to checking that out and having you back again. You were a great guest, and we appreciate it, man.
Hey, thank you guys very much, man. I love talking jug shit at the end of the day. So thank you for inviting me because this was a fucking awesome time. Emily's barking in the chat. I think that might I don't know what that means.
Well, you guys enjoy Joe Bob tonight.
Yeah.
And, have a good rest of the Halloween.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, bro. Take it easy.
Whoop,
whoop. Whoop, whoop.
Much love, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Shout out to Humble Among for coming here.
Bro.
That was dope. Honestly, like those kind of conversations are my favorite.
Oh yeah.
When we have those on the show, when we have a guest on, and we really don't know like where it's gonna go. Like, I mean, I have a lot of notes here, but like a lot of it's just like one word shit or whatever, and we kind of just went off of that. And I mean, really, for someone like that, it was kind of an easy conversation. Oh, yeah. Where I wasn't as nervous for some of the other times we have on here, but I love doing these fucking long form conversations. I feel like a lot of the relationships we've built here at TeamMUJ have been based on those long form conversations. So shout out Humble Among, shout out all of his people. Absolutely, man. Yeah, because we get to know each other without just talking just bullshit, or jug shit. Even just we talk about we do literally just talk bullshit. Yeah. So shout out all Humble Among's people. If you're in here, get like, man, subscribe if you like the show. A lot of our shows are basically the same way. We've been like, blessed by the carnival to have some really super guests and cool opportunities here on the Weekly Web Show, and even opportunities like this to chop it up with someone like Humble Among. We're super fresh, and that's what this Juggalo shit's about. That's what this fucking culture's all about.
Family
so shout out to
not divided up in this motherfucker, yo.
Absolutely. Before we cut out and we say our final goodbyes, I want to play this fucking track all night. So if you guys fuck with Hex is on the road right now with the Wicked Warlords Tour. He is coming to an area near you. You guys could catch him at the West Chicago Social Club in Chicago, West Chicago. This coming Thursday, October 27th. If you need tickets, get them from TeamMUJ. Support the fucking underground. We're gonna play this track from Hex because this shit's dope as fuck. This is streaming now, but this and another exclusive track were only available on the physical pre-orders. or the physical copies. So if you could get one, I think maybe on the tour you should get it if you didn't get it already.
Right.
Here's this track, check it out, and then we're gonna wrap shit up. Much motherfucking love. Some West Coast wicked shit right here. Shout out for the chat. If you like this shit, is this shit trash or is this shit fire? You know how we do.
So yeah, they walking at the wicked shit. So I'm creeping through the darkness, looking to my black eyes, seeing that I'm heartless. I'm killing them all, feeding off the carcass. You get jarred in
It's
the
9:44, 17 in the demon.
This to my murderers, homies in the box, my villains in the streets, all my fools with the Glocks. I'm putting it down, I'm holding it down for my fucking set. I'm leaving 17 hoes coming through your vest. I woke up in downtown, blood on my hands and face. It's looking like I left the demon catch another case. I want another taste, hunting rolling through the valley. I'm leaving another hooker dead, rotting in the alley. Look, they told me something wrong with my brain scan. I got your body swung up in my pain land. Yo, check it. They telling me I'm losing my mind, so I escape into the late night. I'm just talking to the moon again. They tell me you the kid, say that empty the clip, get that throw the sled. Talking to the moon again. These voices in my brain say to release the demon, bring the rage. Talking to the moon again. I'm riding through the city, you know I bring the dead fall with.
All right, we're only going to play a little bit of that track. You have to go run that shit up yourself, and you got to go play that video yourself or listen to that track yourself.
Straight up.
Shit's dope. West Coast wicked shit's got a straight up heavy fucking dope vibe to it. Man, I just like his gangster ass shit. Like,
Right.
real, this shit's so
Yeah,
fucking
man.
cold. The art for that's fire as fuck. And the other track that's on there, Halloween in LA, I haven't heard yet, but Jiggy Fresh, that is super cold. So I can't wait to peep that. Again, man, if we had a CD drive on here, we'd be listening to that then too. But shout out, man. Like I said, I can't say it enough. If the Wicked Warlords Tour is coming to your neighborhood, make sure you pull the fuck up. And if you were there October 27th and November 5th, you'll see TeamMUJ for sure. Me and Prez Murderous will be down in Louisville, Kentucky, November 5th. And Jigsaw and us will be at the 27th show here next Thursday, or this coming Thursday. Unfortunately, Jiggy Fresh can't be there, but we will be singing, screaming happy birthday to Jiggy Fresh's 1-year-old wicked shit carry on generation son. You know what I'm saying? So His Majesty. But yeah, man, until then, again, man, shout out Humble Among. It was super fresh having him on here. Shout out to all those people who came and kicked it with us. Again, if you like what you've seen, subscribe. Oh, I forgot to mention this shit too in November, but we're going to talk about this later, but get your tickets now. Violent J is going to be at Days
There's
of
your
the
little
Dead.
sneaky peek right here,
Yeah,
yo.
we'll talk about that more on the next Weekly Wicked Web Show. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, stream that fucking Jigsaw Killer shit. We'll see you at Black Sunday. New fucking Darby dropping in fucking 10 days. New fucking Ouija Mac dropping on November 11th. It's a good time to be a motherfucking juggalo. And we love you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this shit with your people. Watch back in the beginning
Bring
where we
that
played the.
notifications.
Hold on, I'm gonna put the link
Hold on.
right here real fast.
Yeah.
For the ghost video.
Yeah, tell us what you think about this ghost video.
So we played it in the beginning of the show.
Is it Back Hat Man or is it a fucking ghost? You tell us.
Hold on, I gotta find the link again. All right, yeah, is it Bat Catman, or is it a ghost? We played it at the beginning of the video, so you guys could comment on, or so you guys could talk about it. Here's the link. If you guys haven't seen it, watch it after this video and sound off in the comments what you guys think it is. But tonight was super fun.
Yeah.
We had a good ass time talking jug shit, spooky season among us. We can't wait to see you guys as carved pumpkins for this ICP demo. And yeah, we'll see you on the road.
We'll see you on the road.
Hey, no, on Thursday we'll be live from the Ouija Mac show.
Oh,
We'll see you then.
shit.
Until then, for Jiggy Fresh, I'm your boy Bobby Blaze.
I'm Matt Murderous.
We're TeamMUJ.
We love you.
It's the Weekly Wicked Web Show with TeamMUJ. Family united, not divided, let me hear you say. It's the Weekly Wicked Web Show with TeamMUJ. Family united, not divided, let me hear you say. It's the Weekly Wicked Web Show. With the Weekly Wicked Web Show.